City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down, yeah.
I was born in the city, I was raised on its edges. My pop worked his life when it's complex. I found love in its center. If I could live here forever, think it'd be for the better. I love the weather, even though it's fog 24/7. I love the people, this is city. I met all my best friends, and I wanna thank every brick. I wanna thank every entrance to every building that I step in this city of mine. I owe you most my best moments in life. See, I fell in love for the first time in Golden Gate Park. I saw my first rap show at Great American Hall. I used to beg my homies for a ride across the bridge to goof off and spend the whole damn day doing whatever we want. Keith drove us down to Ice Place while we'd roll up a blunt, and me and Jack would get stoney, walk around and get lost. Don't think I'll ever truly pay back all I was lucky to get just by walking through the city. No, I'm a small part of this.
City of mine, how I love this city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love this city of mine. It never gets me down.
I never really had a place to call my own, so I travel and I roam till I find that. But I'm full of adventure, so I wander and I venture, and it's safe to say that really I don't mind that. I book a flight to try to figure where my mind's at, a spot where I don't spend no money, just some time at. I mix and mingle with the people till I learn a little. I brought some weed and baby, maybe we could burn a little. She said you're funny, I said no, I'm Xavier, then I left. Sun shining, birds chirping, let me take a breath. I'm headed to the city where my chance to make it best. What people like to give a little, then you take the rest. I'm hoping one day maybe I can find a place to rest. I fell in love with life and wonder where it take me next. I like the hustle and bustle, I fell in love with the fashion. I feel the pulse of the city, it's moving me like a passion and it's mine.
Hometown, baby, we go way back. All the situations, circumstances, still we don't mind. Steady going on, I dance around the street lights. Hey, I know every street sign, hanging around the block like if you are my friend, then you are welcome any moment. Yeah, city of mine, how I love this city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love this city of mine. It never gets me down.
Y'all don't know, I was playing around in Final Cut yesterday and just added some sound effects to the thing. Y'all ain't used to seeing that, but I did it. It was fun. Here, look, I can't help it. I'm going to play it one more time. I'm sorry. I just wanted to hear it again. Yeah. If you like that, throw a thumbs up. Scale of 1 to 10. Put your skull in the thing. All right, look, gang, here's what it is. Today, we're doing something really cool. I got a chance to talk to one of my favorite people on the planet. His favorite thing is shortcuts, and I'm trying to get better at that. And my favorite thing is content creating and live streaming, and he's trying to get better at that. So we said, hey, let's just do one of our nerd sessions, but instead of just talking to ourselves in like, I don't know, some random talking app, let's just do it live for the people. There you go. Because Ecamm just rolled out version 3.10 beta because, trust me, it's closed. But beta now supports some shortcuts. And we're like, what are some of the cool shortcuts you can use as a content creator that will make your flow better? And I'm like, Matt, you has to be has to be using some shortcuts to make his content creation game better. So I'm going to introduce the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Matthew Cassinelli. Yay!
Yo, hello, how's it going?
You can't come out with an intro and be like, yo.
Yo, what's up? Okay. I
Okay,
have
that's
a
better.
couple of shortcuts. I have, I think, 100 shortcuts for live streaming. So we're going to be wrangling some of those because I have too many is probably the issue. But I'm super excited. Thank you for having me on. I'm very grateful to talk with someone like you on a, honestly, just to be straight up a terrible day in many ways. So
Holler back.
I love being on the stream. Thank you for having me.
Dude, that is crazy. 100 something shortcuts. Okay, first of all, I definitely want to take time out to send, thoughts, prayers, well wishes to everybody over in Ukraine. As Mac users, you folks may or may not know this. A lot of the apps that we use, especially if you're a SetApp subscriber, those developers are all in the Ukraine. Some of our favorite stuff that we use, anything from the SetApp, basically, it's kind of funny. There are some apps that are not, but SetApp company itself and others. And yeah, Mac utilities for some reason have been pouring out of the Ukraine forever, like forever. So I always got to hang out with, Philippe and Pavel and some of the guys, Igor, Dennis, whenever we went to Macworld. And so those are my guys I used to hang out with and do shots at the bar during Macworld. So, definitely want to send some thoughts out to them. But so we thought we'd do something more light and fun than listening to the news today and do some work. So cool. First of all, how have you been? I mean,
I've got so much shortcut stuff. I don't know if you've seen. It's been a little buggy at times.
Yes. I see the way you swear and the way I swear is different. My swears are loud and obnoxious.
I have been swearing in my own home. This room has seen some other sides of me that I don't maybe put online as much. But no, it's all been good. And I think I've been joking to people that it's like, I love lowercase shortcuts right now. I don't love uppercase shortcuts, the app. And so I've been doing a lot of fun stuff. And my whole catalog, I didn't really understand the Mac, I think, before. And so I struggled to get some stuff out, and it's soon going to come out. And so I'm really excited. But doing
That's
some
cool.
of this right now is honestly, part of the process is my goal is to just turn around and do live streams a lot more, because I've had this whole mess. I think it's like I said, I have 100 shortcuts, and so I just do too much. So here's just inside baseball. Federico just came out with a way to take a shortcut and inject an action from the shortcut into a new one and scrape it out. So I can basically take these 100 shortcuts once we're done. I have to figure this out myself. I'm going to program the whole thing, but I can basically maybe turn them into one shortcut with a big menu that does everything. And so it's this meta stuff, but it's very
Oh my
cool.
God. Okay, gang, if you guys don't know, Federico, first of all, this guy, I don't know what he drinks. He's brilliant. He has Mac Stories, right?
Espresso.
And here's he has a thing that he started a long time ago, which everyone said he was nuts, but he stuck to it. And it's to do almost everything on iPad. Right. So if you're an iPad person, good person to follow. If you're into sort of workflow and productivity and stuff like that, is a fantastic person to follow. And his brain, I don't know what's in there, but it's not gray matter. He has some kind of special something. He has an original Mac one in there, incredible. One thing that I did when we first said, okay, we're going to get shortcuts on Monterey, the first shortcut that I built, well, actually I built two. One is kind of easy. The other one was actually super easy, but it's very helpful. As a creator, when you finish rendering your footage in, say, Final Cut, you'll sometimes want to just grab the audio to use it for, say, the script. I want to transcribe it or whatever. I literally made a simple shortcut that basically just strips the audio out of a video file and saves it back as an audio file. And what I tend to do with that is throw it in Auphonic so that Auphonic can make it sound better, and then stick them back together. Now, right now, I have it set up where I have to go back in the Final Cut and stick them back together. Since the time is going to be the same, I probably can make a shortcut that will just stick them back together when I'm done too, because I'm pretty sure that compressor or something like that is extensible and should be able to get in there. So
Yeah, on the Mac, I'm still learning, honestly, because it's just like I haven't even. The biggest thing is you can almost guarantee to do it with AppleScript. Whether or not you will be able to figure out the AppleScript is a different question, because that's
I'm pretty
just
good
how
at
AppleScript
AppleScript.
works. Not
AppleScript is
you,
weird.
just AppleScript. Yeah. I'm sure
AppleScript
you
is
actually, if you have experience, that's also like golden with shortcuts right now, because you can just drop the AppleScript in a shortcut and it'll just do that at that step.
Nice. Speaking of AppleScript, before we got the ability to do these timers, and again, people, if you're on Ecamm Beta, we are adding timers to the scenes so that you can put the scenes to run at certain times and like automatically make changes. I had an AppleScript that would basically press Command 1 through Command 9 for me to move scenes for me automatically, like they were in the loop. Because that was my initial intro before I figured you could do, video intros. I should just have it run through a couple of different slides over and over again on loop until you step out of it. It was super simple.
It's a great idea.
All right, so, I'll start. I know that you're getting your live stream thing up and you're trying to get better at Ecamm. So, hey, man, what kind of Ecamm questions do you have? This is live tech support.
I mean, I only just recently started using profiles, and so I think that was probably my biggest issue for a long time, because I had this whole system where I had a folder that was just called, like, later, and then I had folders of different scenes that would have just been separate profiles, and I would just like move the one I'm not using into that folder so that only the ones at the top were active and I could use the keyboard shortcuts.
So you know that you can set it up so that when you're doing the smart home show, or be it a guest on a different show, or maybe doing a live chat for the private community, you can set them up as completely different profiles. And what's really amazing, profiles remembers a large portion of the preferences, right? So for instance, I will play around with Amazon Live every once in a while, and they want something super stupid, like 25 frames a second at 720. I'm the 4K guy. Like 720 is like, I don't know, 2008. Like, why am I going backwards? But you can do that. And I also don't know where they got the 25 frames a second, because we're NTSC. We've never done 25 anything, but that's what they want. So you can set that, and it will remember even the connection and destination. So where the security will allow it to happen, right? Which for the places we talk to, I think it's everybody. It will remember your logins and stuff too. So when you switch over, you won't have to like re-log in or do anything crazy like that. So yeah, very good. Thank you, Mr. Tantana. What's up, Tana? Good to see you here for the super chat. I appreciate you.
Look at the chats too.
Yeah,
I saw some people saying.
Yeah, I see you guys. Some of your friends in here.
Is my audio only on the left channel?
Sometimes, every once in a while, when you come in through Chrome, it will do that, but who cares? Ignore it. We can hear you. And your microphones are not stereo. There's one mic and one mouth. It's mono. You know where they get the term mono from? One.
Well, I thought there was a setting that can switch it to mono audio, but
yeah.
Oh, actually, I see it. I could refresh and join back in, but I don't have to because we're already live.
You don't have to. Don't worry about it. If it bothers everybody, we can do it, but no big.
Yeah, shout at me in the chat if you're dying from it.
It's just Brock. Ignore Brock.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brock. I'm making fun.
So I feel like the main scene, the scenes thing was the big thing. Should I just share my screen too?
Yeah, you can absolutely.
Let's
do this. Let's go play with Matt's screen. Dun, 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 dun.
There I am again, and there's peep the shortcuts behind, but we'll get to that in a second. So just like the big thing that you and I were just talking about is guests, and how you can assign with these interview modes different guest profiles. I don't even remember now. How do you give the person which guest is which?
Well, when you click on
once they're in.
Once they're in, you can assign them to whatever spot you want to.
Yeah, because that's what I did before was when the guests came in, I would just add them to these scenes, but now they're actually set up properly for ahead of time, and then if I have two people or whatever, it can all come through. So here's
a pro tip, gang. I just figured this out today, and I don't know why, because I teach Ecamm every day of my life, but I just realized that. So right now you're looking at Matthew's screen, and I
Yeah, it's
shared
very
it.
meta.
And what I did was you can actually save the share screen or the solo of the share screen as one of the guests. So you actually have the ability to, here, let me do something real crazy. This is
You
going to
should
be
be able to
super
put me in there
meta,
too.
right? So I can go here,
Good.
and if I click here on the sign, you'll see I can add Matt Cassinelli's
Yes.
screen as one of the guests. And here's the other reason why that's good. When the person dips in and dips out, or or you have several guests on, but you're only allowing one person to share their screen, you won't accidentally, send the wrong thing when you set your scenes up. So that's very cool. And again, this the demo mode that I just did, best thing ever. And thanks to Glenda, we have the Command Option 8 for the zoom in, so that you can see better.
Oh,
Because
nice.
Pro Mouse was so
Is that-
buggy on my machine.
What is that? Say that again. Is that a
Command Option 8
that-
allows you to zooms to allows you to
In-
zoom in when
in
you're
Ecamm
doing
or
stuff.
with like a separate app?
No, that's in system preferences. So when
Oh,
you
I
you go in system preferences, you click on accessibility. Dude, I thought I was the only person that does that. So Zoom should be the second
Search?
choice.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Yeah, you see
okay,
that?
yeah.
So hit
I
that.
knew these, but they just didn't have them before. Okay.
Yeah, so now they add it, and then boom.
Just one
So when you're doing
zoom.
shortcuts, it's easy now to adjust.
Sorry.
How much it zooms in. You use Control key and the scroll function of your either trackpad or mouse. I use a Logitech MX 3.
Yeah, this is okay. That's what I remembered was the control to zoom. And the
Yeah, so once you
scroll.
set that zoom,
Why did
you
they
can
take
dip
this
in and out really quickly. And no, here's the other pro tip. I disconnected it because I'm sweeping, but I put the Stream Deck pedal down there, and so I just
Ooh,
click on it, boom, zoom in, click on it again,
that's
zoom
the-
out. You
Okay,
have
I
three
mean-
things you can put on the pedal. All I use it for is zoom in, zoom out, chicang, chicang.
That's pretty
And it
good.
uses the mouse as the left anchor. So if you put the cursor right at the top of the Ecamm function window, like where that little gray box is, that's going to be the anchor for the zoom. You see what I mean?
Okay, so if I want
So-
it in the center,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
It kind of figures it out. I don't know how it's intelligent. I didn't bother to ask it, but it's pretty good.
Nice, that's cool. I'm gonna have to remember that one. And also, we totally need to get into Stream Deck as well because that's part of it for me. Is that everything that I have runs off of the Stream Deck?
Oh, nice.
coming through?
Okay. So in the chat, there's Dave Corrigan from Smashing Pumpkins, but it's actually Alec Johnson. He just did a video on incorporating shortcuts with Stream Deck on his channel. This guy right here. What's up, AJ?
Nice.
Super cool.
I think my secondary window just closed. On second. Sorry, I just lost where you are.
I'm in Honolulu.
Yeah, but like the tab is not on my computer anymore.
That's funny. That's funny.
I think I got it back.
Glenda, any keyboard command that you can press with your fingers, Stream Deck can do. So yes, Command Option 8, you would just select System Command in Stream Deck, and then you would add Command Option 8 as a toggle. So use a toggle and then put Command Option 8, and then you're good to go. Oh, I see. Matthew just gonna do it on the fly over here. Gangster.
See, that's what I'm all about. And I'm if you're down with this, we can just talk about. Look, I can make that into a shortcut if you'd like.
Yes.
Using
Okay.
Apple
Okay.
script.
Now we're cooking with Pam. Let's do this.
Okay, hold on. I'm definitely gonna have to force quit shortcuts like 30 times while we're doing this because my stuff is really bad about lagging.
Okay, gang. If you guys need quick catch up, this is a list that Alec. I'm gonna say the X about 3 times today. Just started making a bunch of stuff on the shortcuts, and it's very good. Matthew has a couple from a couple years back, but most of the stuff stands. But they on the ones on Matthew's channel from before, a lot of them are talking about iOS and iPad shortcuts, and then you got to look at the
I need
newer
to make
stuff
a lot more
to see the Mac stuff.
videos.
Don't worry, we're gonna make your studio setup so you just get in and sit down, and that's the thing that makes the difference is being
Totally.
able to just walk in and sit down.
So this is the Apple script, and this is also I don't remember these ever, and so I just Google it every time. Apple script key codes. This one dude
Salsa Goyen.
documented.
Yeah,
No,
that's where I got it from. When I was doing the thing for Ecamm, I got it exactly from here.
So 8 is key code 28. Oh wait, let me double check by zooming in.
So you need
Sorry,
55, 61, and 8.
Also, though, this is, in case people can't see, why don't I zoom in to show you? This is perfect, by the way. It's command down, shift down. Oh, wait, did I just miss? I can't see what's happening.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Command down, shift down.
Oh, weird. My second window just zoomed in also. That's
Yeah, it does that. It doesn't, it's not display specific. I wish Apple would fix that. It zooms everything, which drives me batty because I get lost.
So I think this should do it. Click. Nope, it didn't do it. Or wait, maybe I hadn't hit enter. Tell application system events. Command down, shift down. Okay, this is also.
What about tell application finder?
Maybe. I'm just making sure I got the syntax right. Keystroke. This is part of how I do shortcuts is I just look at the other ones that I had before and it's like, oh, okay, I got it wrong.
Yeah, I just found out from Alex yesterday that you can tab them to switch back and forth.
I did the wrong thing. That's all.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Ran.
There you go.
Ran. Zoom in and out.
Dope.
Perfect.
Dope.
And then if you want to get really meta, you could run this shortcut from the Stream Deck that triggers the keyboard. I do that only because otherwise I can't use these keyboard shortcuts except for on the Stream Deck. So I do have like a super stupid, it's like my button presses another button that presses a button for me, but it works. So.
Wait, okay, so you just said a mouthful and I'm gonna tell you why. Because one of the things that drives us batty is you have to select the Ecamm master window first in order to run commands sometimes. But if you're doing it as a shortcut on the Stream Deck, it doesn't have to bring Ecamm into focus first because it's talking to it from the underneath. It's like, tapping it under the table, sliding the 20 to your friend so he looked like he can pay the tip or something.
And then it's just your shortcut. You slid under the table an Apple Pay shortcut that sent him $20.
There you go.
Sorry, I'm mixing metaphors.
No, that's cool though, because I can see why doing as a shortcut on the Stream Deck would actually be, say, better than doing it just as a standard press, because you can also maybe constrain it to an app. No, not for this particular one, but for other things you can constrain it to an app because you can tell the script or the shortcut to focus an app first.
Yeah, like open. I mean, you could just tell a shortcut or Apple script could do it, but totally, exactly. And that's why, exactly. It's like if you're going to put it here, if you want to keep it simple and set up your Stream Deck quickly, just use this hotkey because obviously this Apple script is like ridiculous compared to just pressing the keys on the Stream Deck. But if you do get into this realm, then this stuff can become more useful somewhere else.
So guys, you know what is dope? When Matthew comes up with these crazy shortcuts like this, he puts them either on his Discord or he puts them on his page, which you can find at MatthewCassinelli.com. And then, yeah. And then be like me and be a member for $5 and you get all kinds of shortcuts. So you don't have to write them.
Hell yeah, I appreciate it. I also have my own script to make it easier to copy and paste and share these. So
the iCloud sharing for shortcuts has failed for me. I haven't been able to get it to work, and I thought it's just because I'm on Monterey beta.
Do you have this toggled?
Hold on, I gotta zoom in real quick.
Oh wait, here, let me do it with my keyboard shortcut.
Let me double check. So that's shortcut preferences, and I have not private sharing toggle. That's it. You have to turn that on.
I think so. I honestly, I've only done it once before, so I'm not sure.
All right, that makes sense. Because what I've wanted to do is make, like when I did my one for stripping audio, I know a lot of people in our community would want to be able to strip audio like on the fly because it's just something that we do a lot, right? For little sound bites or, there's these applications that can take audio from your stream and turn them into these sort of karaoke looking type Instagram posts, audiogram. And then so sometimes you just want to strip the audio for something like that. So on the
what
last
tools do you use for that?
I use
The
the script
audiogram.
because it's part of the script, but there's a Headliner app and another one called Wave, because you know
what?
how
I'm
they
curious.
how they spell stuff.
I want to try to build the thing that you were just talking about really quickly because it's. I'm sorry, I just have to. Because why talk about it if we're not just going to do it? Encode Media is what you use, I assume.
Yep, I use the
To
Encode
just do
Media.
audio only.
Yeah.
What format?
I used M4A just because it's more. If people freak out when they see AIFF, it's an older format, but they're technically the same.
I think just this open in Descript might not support it. And also this is, to be fair, an iOS type thing, but maybe even this, if it was just like get file. This is also, the file actions have all changed recently, and I am using a beta that has different icons, if that's confusing to anyone. But like, should be able to.
Quick actions, menu bar. Let me see.
Here, I'll use this. I was trying to transcribe something.
I had received media input from share sheet because I wanted it to be a share sheet thing. If there's no input, continue, and then I have my encode media, and then I have M4A, speed is normal, metadata, everything is fine, artwork is variable, and I think I just broke something. Oh no, I didn't.
Want to share yours?
Can you undo?
Yeah.
Just in case I broke something.
Command Z.
Okay.
Unless you closed it. But.
No, I didn't. Thank goodness. I almost. Here, you can leave your screen just like that, because you know what I can do? Because this Ecamm, because Ecamm's cool like that. I can go here and click on this, and then go to shortcuts, extract audio, and then, gang, if you hold the Option key, if you're like me and you got a wide screen, hold the Option key. You can pull in the edges, so you don't have to, show the whole thing. Plus, I don't have to shrink my window. So I go like that. And then now I can embiggen it a little bit and then toggle it on. So, yeah, then at the end, I just did save. So all I did was in the encode, pick what it is, and I did save. So I'm curious.
Opening it in Descript would just be a nice.
Oh, yeah, that would be an extra. That would cut one extra step. But I don't see Descript in the app list, maybe.
Yeah, I think they just haven't supported it because I do think that's probably one of those things that it just works with every app on iOS, but because it's a new thing to the Mac, they haven't prioritized it. But
right, well, we had to turn it on, right?
If they do Descript stuff, it's awesome. Like just to be able to, because that's specifically what I'm trying to do. Also, is like sometimes after I'm done with the stream, I want to bring it back in and find like the exact time code where I said something. And export or like clips. And in general, that's part of the whole process. So I feel like in general, I can tell also, by the way, that I want to get so much done that it would probably take us like 10 hours to do it.
So you know, it's funny.
I'm definitely going to have to come back sometimes then.
I will send a message to them because I'm pretty close with folks in their team. So I'll send a message to them and I'll be like, look, gang, we're going to need this part right here.
Especially just tied in. Let's get the universe of apps together.
Well, you know where we come in handy, bro? If you can pull it out of voice memo. Say I'm on the road and I say something really cool and I want to be able to run the script, but I want to get it when I get back to the house. Like, because the script kind of runs in the cloud and you can't really run it on the iPad, I could send the voice memo from the iPad through the shortcut to the script cloud, and then it's already at my computer when I get back.
I think I had this problem. Voice memo stuff isn't exposed to the file system. Services. Right here, baby. This is a shortcuts vector. So shortcuts on the Mac only use services or Finder actions. There's no share sheet, which is really weird. But if we take this, or wait, this might already just... Here, wait, let me...
The fact that you have that much stuff in your services scares me.
It's probably broken, and just in general. Let me even see, what is that? No, yeah, those are. Look at there's tons of duplicates too. I don't necessarily understand. I mean that's for real, man. We haven't even shown my shortcuts. Look at this number right here. Do you see that? I have
Oh my
2,000
good.
shortcuts. Okay, here, scrape audio. Let's see if this just works. And there's even an. Okay, why is it selecting the title? Please stop. There we go. It's in there. Scrape audio. It's up here. It's running. That's what this icon being filled in mean, which is kind of a weird part about shortcuts.
Yeah,
There, it
mine's
just
there
asked
too.
me. I mean, I guess I already have the audio, but what were you trying to do with it?
Oh, I was just basically using it to extract audio from a video.
Yeah, but
But
this at
that's
least
pretty
works.
cool.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
this. Okay, so let me just continue what I half thought a second ago is they added new audio actions. Okay, no, wait, it's the opposite way. They don't have transcription yet, but if you want to make a audio file, you can have it. You can type out like a sentence, and it'll create a spoken audio track and save it as a file for you. So it's like speak text, but a podcast of it.
That's cool because well, if you look at either TikTok or Reels, right, they're forever doing stuff like that. Like today, I had a new idea.
Exactly.
So you can actually do that with the shortcut by just typing in what you want to say and having it generate an audio file of that, text. They use a weird voice for the TikTok and Instagram ones. At least you
now
can use
it's,
Siri's
like
voice.
It's off-brand Bradley Cooper is what it is. It's Rocket from Guardians. So it's like, oh, when you're making TikTok audios with shortcuts.
I like the off-brand Bradley Cooper. Oh my God,
That's
that's
100%
classic.
what it is.
That is
It's
exactly what it is.
It's a computer-generated voice, but it just doesn't sound good.
Oh, so, okay. So you just brought up another thing. Okay, listen, dude. We have nerd problems and ADD problems, and
Let's
work.
keep-
Because if the script works, you would not only be able to do it, but you'd be able to select the voice. And because the script has heard you, it could actually do the thing. What do they call it? Overdub, where it would
Oh, creepy.
create it in your voice, right?
So
it'd be-
we could fully overdub Siri with this. Oh my
Yes.
God. We could put in a whole movie script, take this audio recording, then just I mean, also, like, just to be fair, you can just make Siri say anything with shortcuts already. And so it's kind of looping around to do the same. Oh, wait, can you not speak?
But
text
see,
on the Mac?
if they added to the script, you'd be able to use their overdub, which is your voice or several other much better sounding voices. Like during Christmas, the script had it where you can make Santa say things. It was freaking hilarious.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And all you had to do was type it
okay.
out.
I feel like how did this come about?
I don't know. We just rabbit holed
This
it.
shortcut was the one that you were doing. Let me even show you another specific thing just because I'm new to this. I didn't notice this feature before, and I think this is a beta thing. There's or just new this year is this action called stop and output, where it can tell you that you're actually wait, this might not make sense because you've already saved it. JK, ignore me. I'll come back to that later. Moving on. This is what happens with shortcuts. Is it's
So
applies in some
what's a
places, but
really
not
good
others.
useful shortcut for like streamers?
Okay, let me get. This is all the way down to my streaming category. Some of these basic ones are just like the link to your channel on Studio plus the live streaming things opens up this broadcast window that you're currently using to do the YouTube channel, or like live on the YouTube channel. Sorry, that was a terrible sentence because I'm watching this happen at the same time. So this is where you can like set up to schedule a stream. So like I don't know about you, when I first ever live streamed on YouTube, I never pressed this button.
Me neither.
Because I thought I was going to go live immediately. And it's just a weird UI thing that's like your brain is like, I don't trust it. So this button takes you to this page and then you can create your live stream. And just like those are two buttons that I would always hit every time I need to create a live stream. So instead,
Well,
this shortcut
also
just
when you
takes
do
me
it
directly
now,
to that
it's
page.
three clicks, right? Now you're turning it into one.
Yeah. Although getting the shortcut to trigger, that's why the Stream Deck is so good, because it's literally just one button down there.
Right.
But yeah. And also, like,
that's a good one.
part of what I do, I'm motivated as like a person who's sharing this, is make it easy for people to build their own. So like if you have your channel ID in here, I can like break this out, and this is just me being a nerdy thing, but it's like, what's your channel ID? It'll ask you when you get the shortcut.
So that way they can just pop in their channel ID. They don't have to type the part in the area. So it just pulls a variable.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could just grab that URL yourself, but I think what's even, like, I will do a whole thing where I'll have another shortcut that just stores my channel ID, and then you can call that shortcut in here just to pull the data in, and like things like that. But that's totally not relevant to live streaming. That's just how you make shortcuts. And
Well,
I just figured
here's
talking
one.
about it.
Did you know that on YouTube, if you just type your channel name /live, when you're live, it'll go to the active stream?
No, I did not. That's good. Just like,
Yeah. Right now, it's going to hit just
I
your
mean,
channel
obviously,
because you're not live.
totally. That just like destroyed your audio coming in. Can you say
Yeah,
something?
that's Monterey does that. Try to do that same
Yeah,
thing
sure.
and then put Doc Rock /live, and it should come to our stream.
Okay. I might need to restart this because you sound like a monster right now. To me, it's going like. Hold on a second, but let me get to that. Doc Rock. Oh man, that's really nice.
Right. So what I've been trying to figure out is generate.
Oh wait, my
tweets.
audio is also messed up.
No, you're fine in my head. What about
Okay,
to
let
the
me
people?
rejoin.
Let me check.
Oh, maybe it was my mic coming here. I think I need to rejoin because something's tweaking on
Okay.
my end. But I'll be right back.
Yo. So gang, one of the things that will be dope about setting up what I'm thinking about is being able to send out tweet when you're live, to say you're live while you're live. Okay, that sounds crazy, but let's focus on that again. So you'll be able to take it, put it on the Stream Deck or some other press button that you have. And then during your live, if you wanted to like remind people that you're live, you'd be able to just hit a button and it should be able to just send out a reminder tweets. Because where I always mess up, according to my friends in the marketing space, in the Twitter world, you can send out the same tweet 3-4 times a day. I just never did that because it sounds crazy to me, but that's a thing. Like, you can do that. They all say, you could do that. So imagine being able to be live in your Twitter and then have it automatically, to be live, and then while you're live, just press a button and then it would send it to where it needed to go. So that's what I mean by that. So that would be really cool. Make sure we didn't break anything. No, we did not.
I'm back.
All right, cool.
I switched to mono audio also, so maybe we just fixed that.
Oh, your audio's better now too. Yay. No, so what I was telling them, it'd be super dope to take a shortcut like that. And then while you're live, have a button on the Stream Deck as reminders. Okay. So when I'm doing a longer live, like a fundraising live or something like that, you can send that tweet out like multiple times. It's not just at the beginning, or we're in the middle and we're about to cover something good because I got a good question or whatever. I can just hit a button that will send a tweet again, because I don't really do it, but I've heard from my marketing friends, you can send the same tweet 4 or 5 times in a day and nobody cares because your audience is waking up at different times. In Instagram, if you send the same gram 5 times, people will punch you in the face. But, in Twitter, you can get away with that, right? So that's why it would be super, super cool to be able to, send out tweets and stuff while you're live from pressing a Stream Deck button.
Let me put that together real quick. It's
here. Let's go back to Matt's screen of misery.
URL. Here, let me hide some other stuff too, so it's a little bit cleaner. So it would just be
Dude, the curse of buying a gigantic monitor is that is that I fill it up with more stuff. I thought I have better space, right? No, all I did with the giant monitor was fill it up more.
If you want to, you can make a shortcut to solve that problem. They can rearrange your windows now. So.
Eileen said, "Can we create
this is
a
what
shortcut?"
it's like to stream with me. Is I'm like, the word you just said is now a shortcut. It's like, what?
See, Eileen, that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Same thing. It's very similar, right? Take the live stream and have it automatically post to Facebook and Twitter. I would do it to Facebook and Twitter. And the thing you could do probably with a shortcut that'd be harder to do with the Stream Deck is you can send that tweet to multiple accounts, right? Whereas in a Stream Deck, I think it's only going to want you to send it to one account, but I believe through maybe shortcuts, you might be able to send it to a couple different accounts.
I think so. I think the tweet action specifically might have not maintained it very well, Twitter, but there are other ways to tweet with that. And even like you could hook it into if this then that, and I could do those three for you too. So here I just made the open. Why aren't my keys working? Open YouTube Live. I feel like that makes sense. How I name these shortcuts is a whole other thing. And I have to put little comments in here. Because, like, do you say, Siri, open this? Or is it an opener, the YouTube Live bookmark? I don't know. We don't have to get into that. I'll give it a good icon, of course. And to me, just as a reference, pink, or no, this is light purple. There's actually already a pink, but is my streaming color. And
see, I need them to give me access to the full hex for that. I'm like, I run out of colors. Give me the full hex. You have no idea how much time I've spent on this as the only professional in this field doing this. It's literally like I have specific colors for. I mean, I just started over. I have all of these work colors. I use all 15 of them for work, and then I use all 15 of them for personal too. And then I probably need to do it again and like start a whole nother categorization system. I can't find the right. Oh, there it is. Okay. So yeah, because I would totally make my live streaming stuff purple because this is just how I do it.
This is what it is, and I don't remember why this URL is that way. I think it's specific to just each person, but this is the actual studio of the stream. This is what I was trying to show you originally, and this. Where'd it go? While you're live, it will show you the like health and everything of the stream. And so just to have the link directly to this page.
Oh, see, that's cool. But see, I'd have to create that, duplicate it, and then create a second one because when I'm as the Ecamm person, it's a different URL, right? So I stream under 3 different accounts. And you'd have to make one for each. Yeah.
Okay, watch. Problem.
Put the toggle in. Shut up. I just thought it out. You could put the toggle in.
Yeah, but I'll show you how to make the fancy toggle.
Oh, okay. Guys, write this down. Write this down, people. This is the one.
Like if you just wanted to replace it with the 1, you could just put the text in. But this action dictionary lets you define like little names and values. So you can say, this is your Doc Rock channel. And then this is the specific code for that one. And then this one's Ecamm Live, and then like whatever their code is.
Yo.
And what you do is you pass this into the action choose from list. And because these things, they're the names, and then this is the value. Let me just show you how it works.
Are you writing this down, Alec?
And come back to the timestamp. That's the big thing. And we should talk about timestamps momentarily because that's also relevant.
Oh, so I have a pro tip for you on timestamps. Here's my pro tip on timestamps. We should have a shortcut to just put timestamps like real quick, have a little note file.
I just did a whole stream on that 2 weeks ago. So yes.
Okay, so dope. But I got one thing better than notes and all that stuff. I have Paul Duncan. So in the chat, my man, Mr. Paul, the Paul Duncan down there in the chat, I have enlisted him as my timestamp guy. And Paul is awesome. As soon as we hang up, probably 15 minutes later, I get it.
Shortcut.
I get a
Let's
text
make his
message.
life better.
Yeah, right. That's what we should do. We'll send you the
Seriously,
shortcut,
this
Paul.
is for you then. I mean, it makes sense. It should be for your mod, not you, in theory, because you're doing that's one of the things. The reason I'm doing it is because you're processing that information while you're live, and it's hard to figure out. Versus, I don't know. So but look at this menu now. I don't have the eCam data, but if I press your name, it'll fill it out into that field, and then this page will open once I actually finish the shortcut. But
Dude, that's rad. So it's super funny. Alex said, I'm making this video on it while you're showing me. We always tease him because he's in Thailand, so he's like a day ahead. And we always tease him about Alex is in the future. So, he's making videos about stuff in the future. Hey, Paul, so the reason why you want to timestamp, sorry about that, Paul, the reason why you want to timestamp is when your people come back, especially for you, Paul. Paul's a repair guy, right? So he's teaching someone, their watch machines on the fritz, and it's a simple switch where, maybe you close the lid and it's not activating, so you can't wash, your clothes, and it's like a $5 switch. He's teaching people that you can change that $5 switch yourself, as opposed to, having a laundry guy come in and charge a couple $100 for a 5-minute job. So, Paul, as you're doing your steps, right, you want to put in a timestamp at minute 1, 0.22. I'm going to show you how to take the lid off the wash machine, that little hinge thing. And then at 2 minutes and 33 seconds, I'm going to show you how to disconnect the old switch. And then at minute 4, I'm going to show you how to reconnect the new switch. At minute 6, I'm going to show you how to lock it up. And at minute 7, I'm going to show you how to run a test cycle. That's why you put the timestamps, because then people can come back and get exactly to what they need, because they might just be stuck like us. How Google, Matthew went to the key code list. Results. Yes, and Google picks it up as a search reference too. Very dope.
It's really helpful, and especially for a live stream when you're going for an hour and a half. I'm not gonna lie, when I open an hour and a half video and I have no progression through it, I get overwhelmed. But if you give me timestamps every 3 minutes, I know what's happening next, and it's easy to follow along.
Yep.
So that's totally well. So here, I'm gonna make this. This is the Doc Rock channel opener, whatever, and then I'll give that to you.
Dashboard. Yeah, channel dash.
Or
I'll rename it. Never mind. Your naming conventions are like.
That's fine. Mine are terrible.
Are caffeinated.
I think the other thing that I did too was this is all very much just URLs. So it's this is one way to use shortcuts, is to fix URLs and make custom things to open to the right place. But even this is just I went into youtube.com. This is a really good way to figure out these URLs for the first time, is just go to the page on the website and copy and paste the link. And then you can figure out how to get back to that point. So I just went in here to videos/live, because this is a separate section than your main videos all the time. So
right.
I just wanted to be able to reference this. And then even if I really wanted, I could script the way the data is sorted by changing these values and stuff like that. But this is all you can see, I just didn't do it. I don't need to right now. If I really wanted to get fancy, I could have a shortcut that gets me all of my top viewed streams or things like that. But I just kind of haven't gone to that level. If you want this, tell me, and I'll do it. But
yeah, that's great. Because you know what it's good for? You mentioned the last time you were on about, diving into the YouTube RSS feed so that you can just see, imagine pressing a shortcut that said, when are my favorite people going to be live? Because something like Eileen does, Eileen always shares our live streams on Twitter for us, right? Which is just very gracious of her. But you can subscribe to people's YouTube RSS feeds, even though YouTube doesn't talk a lot about RSS feeds.
Mm-hmm. This one in here scrapes out the channel ID from somebody's page and then puts this is that feed URL. And so you could do some of that with this, picking from my most recent streams and things. I'd probably it might take some fanciness because they're mixed in with your regular videos. But that's super interesting. I mean, the big thing that I'm trying to do even just with YouTube also is embedding them. So like I want to put on my website that this stream is happening. So I might actually I might have already had this fixed. And as long as you start the stream, as long as you schedule it, it is included in your RSS feed, which is nice. So here's like, before I did this one, I just did this, and it wraps it in the text for embedding it on my blog. And just so like I can immediately embed it. And
see, I need that because you know why I'm supposed to go back and add all these to my blog, and I never do because it's too many steps, right?
Totally.
So taking something like this, and what's funny is because on Squarespace, for instance, there's actually a add this to the site type shortcut. You just put in a URL. I mean, not a URL, in your menu bar. So you can take the code from that, add it to the shortcut, and it's the same thing.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know what I mean?
you could make a add to Squarespace.
Yeah, make an add to
bookmark
Squarespace
it,
shortcut.
basically.
In theory.
But yeah, totally. If you have that code, you should send it to me, and I'll try to look at it.
Because
Like, it might be hard to
that code does nothing but parse an HTML file, right? You know all of the buttons like add this to Instapaper or add this to whatever.
The problem for me is that it's JavaScript. I've actually tried to do this with Kindle right here, and I'm specifically still trying to solve this. Is like, I just don't know what this means because I'm not a programmer for real. I'm a shortcut programmer. And so if you are a programmer and you want to turn this into something fancier, I know it's like somewhere in here, you add the link and then encode the URL. So I can kind of see it. The date, time. I really just want to ask the Instapaper guy to tell me what this does. And that's usually a lot easier. But that's the whole set. This is so you can send a Kindle right away because I figured that would be handy. When you don't have a book,
it's so crazy. I just got back into Kindle because I'm doing a lot of moving around. Like I'm going to California in exactly 2 weeks from today, and like it's the best way to read on the road. Like reading on the phone sucks. You think it's cool, but no. Kindle Paperwhite is so light. $80 if you want ads, $130 if you don't. And the Paperwhite battery lasts like 17 months. It's literally the greatest invention that I think a lot of people have forgotten about unless you've always been. Yeah, there you go.
Totally. It's like I just got one for the first time because I was like, oh, yeah, Kindles.
I just rebought mine like maybe 2-3 weeks ago. I got rid of them. I'm like, I can do all of this on my iPad. My iPad screen is so much better. No, Kindle is worth the $100 or whatever it is.
So let me show you a couple more of these. Those are just like specifically for the YouTube portion. I mean, let me just get philosophical. Do you think about Twitch?
AJ said you can run JavaScript and Shortcuts app on the Mac.
That's true. I just don't know how to also. I guess I could just run that. I think this one specifically, there's an action called Run JavaScript on Safari webpage that does work on iOS also. But at that point, I'm already in Safari and I have this bookmarklet. So like I'm trying to recreate what this bookmarklet does, not in JavaScript, just by using the code and the URLs and something. So it's like close, it's also JavaScript automation for Mac, which is a whole other thing that I don't even know if they're doing anymore because of shortcuts. So, but yes, really good point. So do you think about Twitch at all with live?
I need to go back into Twitch. I had left it for a while because I said when I was growing this channel, what I wanted to do was focus on one thing because I have a special case of ADD where I'm like, shiny stuff, hey. So what I decided to do was for instance, I used to use Restream and I would go to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at the same time. And then Twitter before Twitter broke. And I was like, you know what? This is crazy because what was happening is you end up with like half the people in one place, half the people in another place, whatever. So I decided
which you guys support well, which is nice.
No, we do. But I decided I wanted to just have everybody in one single spot so that way I can yell at who I need to yell at and convince who I need to convince in one place. And then let them tell me later if we should go back to multi-streaming. And right now, my community likes all being in one spot because they want to talk to each other.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. I think I'm I've been holding on to Restream because first of all, I do use my streams. I like have them as part of my membership program, and so
Yes.
if I'm going on Twitch just to do something casual, I don't know. I just feel like YouTube can feel intense sometimes. Like because you're a live streaming channel, I think that's a little different too. Or like you do it more versus I kind of like got a bunch of followers and then started streaming, and I don't think they didn't sign up for my channel to watch my streams.
So
I'm
here's
doing
where you
this-
can control that.
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure this out too, but FH Umpires, aka Keely, down in the thing, she's been helping me with my Discord, and she just started a brand new channel called Discord for Creators. You can just run them live in your Discord.
Yeah, that's exactly. But I can't keep them later. Is the difference?
So what we
I
did,
try to make an archive.
yeah. So what we did, which is funny, is I'm recording that with, because Ecamm makes the recording, right? So
But you don't get the chat replay.
yeah. So the chat replay, the way I would do that is basically use it as a how do I describe this? Because in Discord the chat's going to be flying, right? So you take QuickTime or whatever, and you say record this section because Ecamm's going to cover the recording of what you're doing, right? And then you can kind of piece them together after. But yeah, or just do them as unlisted YouTube streams, but do the watch party in Discord, which is what we're going to end up doing because I'm with you. I like to keep the chat part. So we're going to do them as unlisted YouTube streams. Keely, if I'm saying any of this sideways, please correct me in the chat. I think this is what we discussed, right? We're going to do unlisted YouTube streams and then have the Discord set up in a manner with this bot called Sesh, I believe. And the people in my gold club, they're the higher members, like their ability to ask questions become elevated. The people that are in the regular membership, their questions will be a certain way. And then the people who are just a guest, when we're done with everybody else, we'll get to them. But that way, it helps move the needle on growing your membership because your membership has its privileges. It's like American Express, right? I can get a reservation at sold out restaurants because I have American Express.
Nice. I like that. Oh, calendar bot. Okay, it's just that makes sense. Also, I tried to open Discord just now and it destroyed my audio, so I'm not.
Yeah, don't do that because it will do that. Discord will crush audio. So it has something to do with, and I might be saying this wrong. Keely said that you can have people RSVP to streams and stuff, and you can, promote based on roles, what they can do in and out of streams. So yeah, it's like generating a watch party in your Discord to an unlisted video on your YouTube.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because that's the biggest problem that I have is just like telling people about it in advance without tweeting about it 30 times and then.
Well, that's me too. And I have wild hair
be
streams
there when it's live. I don't want to tell you before it's not live because it's too much. Because it's just like I'm spurning that attention when you can't even do anything about it.
Right. So and it takes away from the spontaneous lives where I just got something in the mail and I want to show everybody. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I've been trying to figure out is, should I just go live on YouTube? Should I use Twitch for like, I mean, okay, so just to say,
I wouldn't put my community in two separate spots.
And I'm going to do some game streams, and those definitely go on Twitch.
Yeah, that's
on YouTube.
Twitch.
Doesn't make sense for my stuff. What I can't figure out is if people who are already on Twitch also want to see these shortcut streams there because I'm just already doing it, but I should just maybe not.
No, I wouldn't bifurcate my community. So keep your gaming stuff on Twitch and then just tell people over there or have little pop-ups in your Ecamm that tells them that, hey, I do my shortcut stream on this channel. Here's where you go. And for your stuff that you do on YouTube, another thing that we do is oftentimes we'll just go live, and then people that are the drive-by watchers can see. But then if we don't want it to mess up our channel's, flow, then you just unlist it after. So as a matter of fact, Dinah just did one yesterday. She goes, I'm testing something out, but we test in public because we want people to see that the only way you get good at this stuff is what you and I do. Press all the buttons, right? and then just unlist it after, so any brands or whoever is looking to work with you don't see you in the stream like acting foolish. So I've
That's what
completely
I'm trying to.
taught my
But,
people
like-
how to use Canva drunk and then go unlist that screen.
Totally. I think what I then. What's hard is like, because you are more consistent with YouTube, you can like people know that you're doing that. But I just live stream and then I unlist it, and so they don't know that I'm even doing it unless I'm already live, or I just
Right.
need to be doing that more. I'm just
So
kind of like processing things for this therapy
No,
session.
the biggest thing you can do is, and this is going to be harder because you're busy. You have to pick a day, even if it's only once a month, and be like, last Wednesday of the month, I'm live doing shortcuts for the iOS, iPad people.
See, what's I go from I only want to do it once a month to like I would just want to do this like every day though. That's what I want to. When
Man,
I'm working, I
I'm
wanna turn
subscribing
this
to that,
on.
bro. If you do shortcuts every day, I'm subscribing. First of all, your channel will blow up because I think here's the funny thing about shortcuts, and I'm so glad we're having this conversation. Wait, I'm gonna put you on blast right now. Here's the reason why I think is muggles need to know this because they're the ones who could use this the most. But they're also the ones, and I use that term, sorry, people that don't like the terms, too bad. I'm going to use muggles. I like that term. Just like I just taught my niece that diagonally is actually diagonally. And she was like, what? Mind blown. Anyway.
The arrow and the FedEx truck, yeah.
It's very, very important for muggles because this is the stuff that makes the Mac dope. Apple doesn't do a good enough job telling people how shortcuts can change folks' life. And
It's because I quit.
everybody thinks it's hard because the only people that mess around with this stuff are people like you, Federico, and Rosemary, Queen Rosemary. Like, so they see like, well, only the nerds use that, so I don't think I could do that. But it's approachable. It is approachable. The only way that's going to finally come out so that folks know that they can do it is somebody has to break that ice, and you just got to decide if you
watching.
Just watching.
As it's
I mean, oh, bruh, planning a family thing. I need to send out 17 messages to like 17 different people. I can have a shortcut that says send this text to every person listed as family member in my address book.
Yeah. Do you want to do it? Let's take. See, this is why I really just need to host them and just be like, here, show my screen again. Am I still sharing? I don't remember.
Yeah, I got it.
Find contacts. It's just knowing that these actions are available is one of the biggest things. Group is family. Yeah, dude, this is going to take 3 seconds. Repeat with each. Send message. Oh, wait. Okay, so one of the things that gets confusing is that it will try to guess for you, and it got it wrong this time. The recipients are what I want to repeat, and then this one I want to say, what was this for again?
Oh, just like
Hello.
Yeah, something like that, or checking in. Okay, here's a great one. Hawaii, right? We get tornadoes. Not tornadoes. We get hurricanes all the time. And as soon as somebody hears that there's a volcano going off or a hurricane happening or a tsunami here, everybody in my family wants to know that, I'm not on that particular island. So I have to send like 10 messages.
Okay, even get current location. Here's my GPS coordinates.
Yo,
Very
dope.
specifically.
Right? And you can send them the current weather to be like, look, yeah, I'm safe,
Don't worry, it's sunny here. They're like, cool. No, just kidding. But look, yeah, you could get latitude and longitude if you really want to. Here, let's make a little extra room for your message, and then instead you can program this to just use that same message every time.
So selecting the magic variable pulls whatever you put into the text box.
Yeah, like this is, I can just go back and get something from a different action already. And this is a very programmery thing, but it's also even better than what programmers do because it's magic and it happens every time. You don't have to declare variables. It's a very programming thing that Shortcuts just like lets you skip over, which is nice. Latitude. Oh wait, this one needs to be longitude. I'm at. I mean, like, I don't know. This isn't helpful. Nobody knows what your latitude means, but it's just for fun. But like, it could technically. I mean, like, for real, if you said I'm not safe, here's my exact location.
Right.
That actually is really powerful. So like, I don't know. Here you go. Here, this one's done. Checking it.
Oh, well, see, you know what? You say it's not helpful, but in Hawaii, you know what everyone does? They do a lot of hiking, and a lot of the hiking is on, you know,
Yeah.
these really crazy ridges here. So, you know, people should learn, and they just don't do it because it's maybe, you know, too many steps. Before you walk into the trailhead, you hit a shortcut that just drops a pin. And when you walk out of the trailhead, you're like, okay, I'm out of the trail, right? That would take, you know how much money that would save in searches? Every single weekend, there's a helicopter flying around the mountain behind me looking for somebody that did something stupid and slid down the hill. Because it rains here constantly. So the trails say easy, but they don't talk about it rains every day in Hawaii. So them trails are
Totally, man.
slippery.
Let's use this. It's right here. It's already ready. You just saved families' lives. Like, that's
Right.
what's so wild about this. And also, just to say, this show and run thing you want it to have off, so it'll send them all automatically. But this here, I mean, I'll send this to you after the stream. We're making some good progress. This is why it's done now too, and it works on your iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, and Mac. It's like, it's wild. how
Right?
this
Because if you had the
is.
trailhead one on your watch, it's even easier. You just hit a button on your watch, you go clank, and it's gone. Right?
Or there's some sort of, I guess you'd have to have an NFC tag at the trailhead, but you could tap your phone and it could do it for you too.
Right? So, bruh, I'm going to tell you about these NFC tags. After the last time you were on, first of all, I did the one where you can, my screen on my phone changes according to when I plug it in and not, like when it's charged or not charged or at 20%. But every time I go to the hotel now, I never return the hotel keys because they're NFC tags. So
just your own little set.
you know, I've been using them to, like, when I get ready to stream, I just take my phone over there and it locks the door so that, you know, people don't come in. Because everybody knows my friend John likes to walk in and say, hey guys, while I'm streaming. Or my brother will come in and stand behind me when I'm live. And everybody in the chat's like, you know, saying hi to June. And when I finally look at the chat, I'm like, ah! It scares the crap out of me.
Nice, I love it. Yeah, I mean, I think that, so those are some of, I've been showing you these like specific parts of the stream process, but I have these other ones that are kind of just abstract. Let me also like hide. I don't need to be showing triple eCam windows this whole time.
You know what it is? It's the friction points that people have in streaming. And so when I think about shortcuts, I'm like, what are the friction points, right? One of the big ones, of course, super simple stuff, right? I'm about to go live. Okay, tell Dropbox, shut up. Tell Google Drive, shut up. Tell Creative Cloud, shut up. Tell iCloud, shut up. The only one that doesn't have a button. But you can go in Terminal and tell Cloud Sync Services to shut up for a minute. And then when you're done, you can be like, finish live, and then turn it back on. The only danger would be you have to remember to turn it back on, because if you don't, your computer will be disconnected from iCloud.
Thanks to the power of automation, and thank you to the lovely folks who make this certain app called eCam, you can do that after the stream is over. Where did this go?
Oh, yeah,
Am I
because
not on the
YouTube,
beta?
when you go to the API at the end, you could actually even tell it, you know, the end screen on YouTube, when you press that, it sends the API to YouTube to tell YouTube to end the screen. You could actually pick it up from the API.
Well, but even, I think that's part of it, though. It's just you have when the broadcast finishes as a trigger.
That we do.
So, yeah, it's like you guys can have this right now, is that it's, so we're going to make broadcast starts. Okay, let's put this. I'll just do eCam.
Are you using MyNode?
Yeah.
Yeah, MyNode is great.
eCam Live opens. Broadcast starts. Sorry, I'm kind of off the screen there. Broadcast.
Guys, Matthew is using MyNode right now. This is a really good way to map out streams when you're about to build a stream or you're building a course or something like that, and you like to know how to do your flow, this is a really cool way because you can see the lines. It's so much easier than just writing on a piece of paper.
All of this with the keyboard is the best too. It's like
Right.
collapsing it. Command Option period is what I'm pressing there, and then Command down and arrow to move things around. So I'll use this to just like process my thoughts. But this one right here, once
They don't
you
make an app
basically
big enough
have-
to process my thoughts. I would break an M1.
turn off and turn back on. So both of those, what you just said, yes. I'm going to figure those out. Is like get those terminal commands, just trigger those all in a row. And then every time the broadcast finishes, oh wait, this is actually the wrong one. These, when it starts, you probably actually want it when you open the app, wouldn't you?
Oh, that's even better. Well,
'Cause
no,
then-
no, because if you do it when you open, sometimes you're opening just to build the show, right?
But
You
that's
still want
okay,
you still
as long
you
as it closes also
right.
anytime.
Oh,
This is a weird decision that doesn't really matter unless somehow you're trying to get Dropbox files while Ecamm is open. But also,
Which-
like,
which-
it doesn't matter with your reception until the broadcast starts.
correct.
But,
Correct.
like, this is something actually you should maybe ask your team is, like, will this just create a pile up of resources right at the beginning of a stream that could crash it? Like, if I'm
Well,
running
I
four
think
terminal
so.
commands
The
in
advantage of
background.
doing it through terminal versus sending commands
Mm,
in the apps itself is it shouldn't have to do much memory state with the apps. Just telling them to all quit will free up resources. Telling them all to disconnect syncing, that's a different
that's
conversation.
back up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but I know we can always quit them because that's easy. I just need the PID.
Quit and then disconnect. I do think in theory it'd be nicer to just actually turn off the feature. And I just want to as a nerd, so
Yeah. Well, see,
Uh,
iCloud is the only one that you can't really quit per se, but you can definitely tell that service to shut up because
Yeah.
I don't know how he did it, but the guy that wrote Trip Mode, he has a way. So the one thing that's cool about Trip Mode is when it's open, you can see what's actually running, right? It gives you a visual inventory of it's tripmode.ch if I believe it's $8, but or free if you're set app. It will at least show you what's grabbing internet from you, right? And he built it because when you travel like in places like Japan or Europe, and this guy's from Czechoslovakia, I believe, when you travel in the trains, right, your phone is doing all this background stuff and it's jacking your data rate, right? So when you have a low plan, like 5 gigs a month, and your phone is syncing and stuff while you're traveling or constantly grabbing locations, or your computer is open, you're killing your data rate. When all you want the computer to be open is for to do email in the train, I don't want to be trying to sync iCloud in the train. So that's what he wrote it for.
totally. Can I just okay? I'm just was like I paused because I almost opened this and I wanted to make sure it didn't kill the stream, but I think it should be fine. I have to give it.
Yeah, you have to
permission
tell it
since
what you
it's-
want to kill.
That's why I was like, wait a second, let's be smart. I'm like,
It was like, yeah. So the secret to winning, like the NFT game is where the heck did Matt go?
okay, I am installing this, testing. I wonder if they have shortcuts. That's
Ooh,
why
I
I
didn't
just
even
did
think
this.
about that. If he has it extensible, well, we just well, that just hung up with Matt. He'll call right back. That's funny. Yeah, I didn't even think about whether or not shortcuts was built in the trip mode because that would be another like fantastic way to do this too, right? For you guys that are unfamiliar, so what trip mode does, again, the guy wrote it in order to save network charges and stuff when you're on the phone, using your phone as a hotspot for your laptop while you're in the train traveling, right? But what I use it for all the time is when you get ready to do a stream, you can hit a profile, if you will, called trip mode, and it will turn all of these things off, right? And so it will turn off Creative Cloud, Dropbox, like all these myriad things. I gave up Dropbox, but yeah, it's kind of funny how it works. Wait, hey, where'd my mouse go? Here we go.
It
So
did happen.
we found out that yeah, it turns out that
Trip
that
mode
happens.
does activate.
Trip mode works fantastically.
Someone so that it cut out my internet. Okay, well, sorry. Okay, I am back together now. So, I mean, that's a perfect one. Even just opening that app, I guess, clearly will do the trick.
Alex said no trip mode integration with shortcuts. Okay, so we three of us are
Could've
going to
figured that
email
out.
him. Three of us are going to email him today and be like, "Hey, dude, I need you to turn on shortcuts app in your next build." So that's super funny.
Well,
And yeah,
here's-
Alec, you could have told
regardless-
us that since you're in the future. You could have told us that before we threw Matthew off the train over here.
This is how I do it, is I will still make the shortcut anyway.
You got to share your screen again.
Oh, my bad.
I also like how it. One thing that's cool about trip mode is how it tells you how much data you're using for various things as well, because
How much data?
it lets you know, like, you know, if something is, you know, a lot of us still use companies like Comcast or whatever that cap people. I have wrecked them, and they don't cap you. They just give you crappy internet.
I have Sonic, which is gigabit fiber for $60 a month.
Shut the front door. What?
I even have the proper cabling to take advantage of it in my office here, but because I have like a super old house, but it is very nice, and I suffered a lot through that for years, so I'm gonna take the San Francisco privilege and enjoy it.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I can show you
That's
how
wild.
to fix the wiring in your house without having too much hassle. Because I just redid everything in my office down here in 10 gigabit per second network using
Yeah.
Ubiquity gear.
Mine thing is
It's amazing.
I need to have someone install it outside the house and like up on a ladder, and I am not willing as a independent person to sacrifice my body for the cause, because if I fall and get hurt, I cannot do it. And so
Paul.
it is,
Okay, Paul.
Someone
Since
wants to
you're
come over
since
and
you're in the
fix it.
Bay, you have to go to Mass House and like. No, wait. Paul's 70 something. We can't have Paul falling off a ladder either. Just like, where'd my timestamps go? Oh, I fell off the ladder trying to install some stuff at Matthew's house.
So this one might be trip mode. Okay, we were also saying, so it's in general, like we're just remembering what to do every time you get on.
Yeah, and I think that's where
Um,
people get messed up. Even I, all the time, I'll start a stream and I will have forgotten something. So, like having a checklist, sort of like this, in my note, and now that I think about it, I have my note. Hello, I should just type out your flow one day when you're doing it, and then
Exactly.
go in and figure out like what things could you automate in that flow that will stop you from making, you know, those mistakes.
You mean just like this, which I've done?
Paul said, I'm not 70 something. Sorry, Paul.
So this is how I've done it, and then I also
Psycho.
this is the problem though, is I just this is just like not necessary at a certain point too, and so I get caught in that realm between incredibly helpful and what are you doing? This is just like so detailed, I can't even remember the details of it. So this is what happens when you have 1,000 shortcuts too, is you just spend 20 minutes scrolling. So like, oh, and then it doesn't resize properly.
There's a search bar at the top.
Well, I'm trying to show multiple folders. This is my whole deal, because these shortcuts are kind of mapped to this setup. So
What?
yeah, this is what I've been doing, and this is only because I'm a crazy person. Well, and I'll be clear, this isn't perfectly done yet, and this is why I wanted to talk to you. Basically, is like what I said at the beginning of the stream, where Federico has a method of taking these and turning them into one shortcut. I've basically took my checklist, intentionally made single shortcuts for every single step, and then I want to recombine those into one big shortcut that just does everything for me.
That's smart. Okay, so you just said something. You just said something extremely valuable. I want to make sure that everyone understands this, because this is where I've gotten stuck before. Instead, okay, this is programming 101, and I'm like Matt.
Which I didn't know until 2 weeks ago. By the way,
I'm a half a programmer, not a full programmer.
Yeah.
What the you think? I think most of us think is you sit down and you just start writing the whole thing. But no, what you do is you get sections that work, right? And when it works, that part works. So for instance, if all I wanted to do was print, right? You build a print library. It's just a single snippet of code that handles the printing. And you check it again, it prints, you move it to the side. And then you do the next part that says, okay, save this document to the hard drive, and you get that. And once that's working, you move it to the side. So then later on, you make a button that says print and save. And all it does, call number 1, call number 2, drink beer. It's so simple.
Exactly.
I hate beer.
I have a shortcut that plays the song Celebration at the end so that I actually celebrate my wins.
That is one of my most common things I tell people all the time is you have to celebrate all your wins. You got to celebrate all the victories because, you know, it's just a thing. It gets you in a good mood. And once you're winning, you feel like you can win again. So you'll do more stuff. So yeah,
Where's
I like
my
the
shortcut?
idea. I like the idea of
think-
playing celebrate.
Here, show my screen real quick. It's right here. No joke. I'm not even lying. Just got the celebration song. I think this will start on my. Oh no, it's not working on Mac. Reselect the music. Okay, that's fine. I'll fix it later. But
Oh, because yeah, you
just
have it set to find it from your phone.
yeah, it's like it just needs to be updated. But so totally with the same thing with all these shortcuts is, and I didn't learn. I just talked to Matthew Bischoff of Lickability on a stream last week, and they were basically informed me that that's what programming is, and that let me get this window out here, and that you should do that because it just makes it reusable. It makes it manageable. Okay, I will say managing 100 shortcuts maybe isn't the perfect, but each shortcut I understand what it does, and it's not trying to do two things that it's maybe good at one and bad at the other. So it is excessive in this degree, but I'm just trying to part of it is I plan it all out and make shortcuts. Then I'm just done. It just does it. I just press these buttons. I don't even have to think about it anymore. And so
That's
cool. A very basic thing of just make that stream is I have to go in and I have right now they're running other shortcuts just so I can process what's even happening. But it's the first thing I need to do if I'm planning a stream is make it, obviously. But then it's add the description. And so if I want to ask myself, okay, it's freezing now, of course, shortcuts. This is bad. I'm going to just force quit it because it's going to take too long. But do you always have the same description or part of your description is always the same?
Part of the description is the same, but I am trying to be more cognizant of making it a little bit more active, right?
Yeah,
and everyday
the
tech,
current
to your
stream.
point, to your question, yes, you can do some basic shortcuts with Notion, like you can do Notion updates. There's a couple other stuff that you can do. There's
a new app.
Oh, there is?
Notomate. It's automate but with an N at the beginning for Notion. From Alex Hay, who makes Toolbox Pro, and he just made a bunch of actions.
That was going to be my
with
thing.
Notion
Toolbox
API.
Pro.
Yeah. So also, even just perfect question, do you plan your streams ahead of time in
Yes.
Notion and things like that?
I don't use Notion. I use Doction, but I should. I've been trying to get into Notion. I have ClickUp, very similar thing.
Still, I mean, I'm just
But
curious.
yeah.
It doesn't have to be, but just anything like that.
Yes.
That's the other thing I want to do with this is I have an idea for a stream. Where do I put it? How does it stay there? How do I know when I want to do that? All this other stuff. So, but let's do the description real quick, just so I can kind of.
And you know what you just said a whole mouthful, because that's one of the problems for me is I'll have this idea to do something for the stream and I'll completely forget. And then I got to go and ask Rich or Keely or somebody, hey, what were we talking about we should do for the stream? It's kind of funny.
I have every word, like I was joking at the beginning of the stream, and it's become true. Every word you're saying, I can turn into a shortcut. Ask for input. Add a reminder to your stream reminders list. This is something that I have, and I also need this shortcut, so I'm just doing it right now.
Oh God, I need that. I'm looking for it. NOTAMATION.
It's Notomate.
Oh, not toe. NOTO.
Yeah, it's like automate just with an N at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense when you think about it, but when you try to spell it for the first time, it doesn't make sense. Kind of.
Right. That was when Web 2.0 first came out, and everybody thought they were cute with their names.
Yeah. So here's what's your stream idea? And then we'll just add it. This shortcut could be a button on your stream deck that then prompts you to answer this question and fill out your stream ideas. Stream with Doc Rock. Enter. Gets added to the list. Also, actually, I think the reminders app actions are just slow right now for some reason. But I have all these streams things, and then it better be down here. There it is. You're down at the bottom. So this is I'm literally going to use this because so now let me show you a whole meta thing that I do. For every one of my areas of work, I have these same set of shortcuts.
I like that.
Because it's like I always have to do these across. So if I'm just thinking about podcasting, I can just capture an idea and it'll go into that same list. And then even I can just like quickly get back to that list. Shortcuts is totally going really slow right now. So this is not a great demo, but see there, it opened up the podcasting thing. And like, this is I need a name for this strategy. Got any ideas?
I like that. So capture idea, make a note, add a task, start the podcast timer. What's the start the podcast timer one for?
It's Timery. It uses Toggle, which is kind of the main.
Yeah, I know what Toggle is.
Yeah, Timery is a third-party app because the Toggle app sucks. And this guy Joe Rebar, who's actually an incredibly nice person, I became friends with him after I met him at WWDC, and we got like a beer together. And he makes this app that basically gives you a bunch of shortcuts for your time tracking stuff, and you can have all these tags and stuff like that. Super fancy. It's really nice. This is just my way to like generally manage your work is like write things down, look at them later. But you'd be surprised how easy it is to not do this.
Which also
like,
cool
for example,
too.
all of these things I haven't looked at in a while. So
right. So like add your notes to that and then add it to your podcasting playlist. Show your podcasting face. Okay. Explain that.
Your watch, you can change your watch faces with shortcuts.
Oh,
so you can have 40 Apple Watch faces. It's not good for me. You shouldn't allow me to have these things because I'll use them. It's because this one's I can't even really tell, but it's also like not that useful yet. In theory, I have a time zone face on here so I can see that if I stream with somebody who's in Chicago, what time it is there right on my watch face without like losing track of it. Or like I have a timer on here because I just generally don't want to stream for too long, and so I just lose track of it and I'll just go into rabbit holes all day long without shortcuts. And so putting a timer on my wrist that stops me is good, or just like controls my lights. The watch part isn't as useful yet, but I'm trying like, when else would you make the watch useful unless it puts itself in the right context in front of you?
Right. So like, it'd be and I think about this stuff all the time, but now I'm thinking you can do with shortcuts. You can kind of do it. Focus modes, but like on the watch in the sense that when I walk into my house, some of the first things I'm going to do is start messing with things in the home app to control all my lights and everything. Like my house is heavily automated. Let's put it that way. I'm probably not as bad as you, guy who has a smart home tech podcast, but I'm pretty in there. Like everything. I'm about to buy the Bluetooth adapter for my coffee pot. Let's just put it that way.
Nice.
Jura espresso machines, you can put a Bluetooth adapter in for $40, and then I could be down here and then press, okay, make me a cup of espresso, and then by the time I get up the elevator and into my house, it would be just pull it out from underneath, good to go.
Man, that's amazing.
You got to crack the crema.
I had a switch bot that at least would press the button on my espresso machine to turn it on for me. It was just a physical trigger that just went zzz, and then would push it.
So the idea of using
sweet
locations
of
to change watch faces, though, you think about it, right? If you go to say I'm going to Planet Fitness, right? When I'm at this location inside this geofence, automatically change my watch face to the Nike one where all the fitness stuff is in the front, right?
So I will say, if you are going to do that, it only works. Location as an automation trigger specifically can't kick off your shortcuts right away. They kind of have to prompt you because Apple wants it to be a little bit more secure. But the way around that now is focus modes, because you can set a focus mode to activate at a specific location, and it uses a little bit more intelligence than just like a geofence. And so you can basically have a focus mode turn on when you get to the gym, and then the focus mode triggers the shortcut. So it's kind of like a roundabout way, but it works. And it makes sense, because what you want is a shortcut to trigger when you change context, not just literally get to one spot. Because if you went outside and back in, it would run again and like all this.
All right, so I got one. Here's one that might make sense. All right, so in my condo, right, my office is in the basement. My house is upstairs. The geofence is so tight that it doesn't switch between my two different things. And
modes.
I haven't got it to figure out when you connect to the network properly. It's buggy, right? So
I do.
but
yeah.
I think I could set it
should be able to figure it out by time when you use it. But it kind of, you have to have a consistent schedule then.
So I'm wondering if I could take it so that when I open the schlag, right, because it's at the front door here at the office, Home app sends a notification, office unlocked. So as soon as it catches that notification, trigger a bunch of stuff.
So currently the way home automations are slightly separate. However, there is a third-party developer who has made a Mac app called Signals for HomeKit that can listen to HomeKit events, and then it'll trigger a shortcut like you have there. So it's a little bit roundabout right now, but you can totally do it.
No, but that helps, right?
Like, that's a perfect use case. I think I don't have the right home device to take advantage of it yet, and so I haven't. And it's just like, sometimes, like, you can hear me saying that it's like a shortcut that triggers your HomeKit reset, like events that does then this it's like even I get confused about this stuff, and so I'm trying to just have that developer on to help me figure it out, because stream with so I get these figured out.
Your HomeKit stuff is probably the best activator for context switching, because the devices actually turn on and do things according to when your body is present, right?
Yeah,
so
the presence thing is huge.
It makes more sense, whereas location can be buggy. And if you're like me, where I can't make the geofence any tighter, it's better that I did it off of applications. So here's a funny one.
I think that's what the focus modes does now, though. So it's kind of better than it has ever been.
Right, because my watch knows when I say that my computer, because my watch unlocks my computer.
Totally.
So I should be able to steal that trigger somewhere that says, okay, when I sit at the computer, when I unlock, have a shortcut run that sends me whatever reminders I need to do or something like that. Right? All of this stuff started back from OmniFocus when I used to create huge rabbit holes. When OmniFocus got location aware, oh my God, I broke everything. Oh, remind me when I get to the Home Depot to get so-and-so. I'll be at Costco and the Home Depot thing would come up because Costco and Home Depot are next to each other here.
Exactly.
So I'm like, no, I don't need that one. I need the Home Depot one, not the Costco one. I'm in Home Depot trying to buy toilet paper. You're going to get sandpaper. Not a good look. it's not comfortable. Dude, thank you, Rich. I think the idea of context switching with the watch is brilliant. So that is because even say from the watch to be able to do stuff when you're live, right? That's also extremely helpful. You know?
Yeah. I think that's where I would personally lean towards Stream Deck because the like checking thing is a little like awkward, but it's pretty much the same thing. It's like I think that's what's so good about shortcuts is that it comes in all these forms, and so you can use it whichever way suits you the most in the moment, and even switch between them in the moment, and it still works.
Because I'm thinking things like send out of course the tweet reminders whatever for people to come in. Oh, I got one. When you send when I scheduled the stream, right? So you and I, we talked back and forth through text. Okay, and then you said, okay, yeah, we're gonna do it this day, and then, so I send the Calendly link. Oh, Calendly's a web app though, so I don't know if there's a way to do a shortcut that would also do things like it sends the Calendly link and reminds me to send out these posts, right? So as soon as I did, I said, okay, go put something on Twitter. It was 3 days later because I just happened to see something else. You were on Mac Break Weekly and I was on the week after you. So when I saw the thing that said that you were going to be filling in on Mac Break, oh yeah, I better go ahead and put up my Twitter post. So thank you to Twit for reminding me. And then so I ended up putting up my Twitter post for today, right? I need things to stop dropping those balls, right?
Totally.
Like
that's exactly why I want to do this,
right?
And it, so okay, wait. Let's go back to my checklist that I was making too, because I have some of this in here, and yeah, I was gonna say cool.
You tried to quit an app.
I have Create Stream.
Your force quit is
Oh
on.
yeah, I just I keep that open at all times because of shortcuts. So we got Create Stream, the description. This was the thing I was going to show you about.
Make the thumbnail. That's
if yours is over youtube.com/docrock/live. Obviously, this doesn't make sense for a description, but like how you want to customize it every time is you can have both the template below and then just like type in, I'm streaming with Matthew. And then it'll like put this template for you, and then you can copy that into your YouTube description right away.
Right. That's dope.
So it's like both the templatized plus the on-demand thing that you need to not make just people know you're like not trying or something like that if you don't ever use the same stream title or like things like that. I've had that before, and I had a restream thing where it would accidentally send the wrong social alert for an old stream because I didn't realize it was a restream setting. So for like literally, this is why I didn't stream for almost like a year, is because every time I would go live, it said that I was live with Maddie Cox, who I was not live with. And I never knew until I was already live. And then I'd be like, like, what is going on?
I did the same thing. It's on the last page of Restream. It's the one that sends out the Twitter notifications. I did the exact same thing.
Look at this right here. I have that page as a shortcut for that exact reason, because I kept forgetting it and I would always make the same mistake. And that actually is like, it was right here. And even this, I don't do the Discord thing. I just remember that recently. But okay, so you were saying it's like change description, the thumbnail. Let's save that for a second. Let's do you said, do you want to tweet it the second you're live?
Yeah, but also a reminder to tweet it like the day that I booked the live, right? So like right
on
after
the
we
day
make
of, like today, this morning, you would.
Oh, this morning, yeah, I just did it manually. I did it manually while you were trying to figure out while you were moving stuff in your office. It's two things that I sent the tweet, and then I told everybody that we're coming because Matt's breaking stuff. That's exactly what I did.
I apparently have done this for myself already, and I didn't realize it. I guess I think I went back through my last stream and just took literally what I had already said and then just broke it into a shortcut let's just try it. I don't even remember at this point how it does anything. So what's the stream link? Okay, I clearly need this already in my.
Well, your stream link is easy now. It's youtube.com/Matt Cassinelli /live.
That's a good point, which I did not know, and I also.
Hey, I can teach you some
So
shit.
thank you for telling me that, because I have a domain at Hover called shortcuts.live that I purchased specifically so that I could send people to one URL instead of the same URL every time. So that's hilarious because I didn't need to do that, but I kind of still like it.
Yeah, because mine is doc. If you do docrock.live, that's exactly what it does. Same exact thing.
But I've always been I've had to like redirect it. Actually, I did it to a page on my website because I got sick of trying to update the URL. And I actually probably prefer that. So I'm going to keep it, but I'm glad that's a good point. So here's the stream link. I think that's getting the embed there. So this is for my website. And then what's the intro blurb? Start after, like, we're going live soon. I don't know. When are you streaming? Not right now. 12 p.m. tomorrow. What is the stream about? Kicking butt. What are the links for the episode? docrock.com. Is that it?
Live.
Your /live?
No, just .live.
Oh, okay. Well, I just am sending people to your. This is for like your social or whatever, like, so that
Oh
people
yeah,
can
that's
find
fine.
you. And then
Yeah.
why do I care? I don't remember this. Why did I put it this way? We're solving all my stream problems. What's the plan? We're going to.
Dude, I love what you're doing here because this is almost like in marketing speak we call the ADA framework or the AIDA framework or the PASTOR framework. You can pick one of the frameworks and set these questions up like this because there's the movie arc, right? Tell them who's in trouble, tell them how they're going to get out of trouble, how you're going to get
Yeah,
out.
man.
You can have
think I'm
the
doing
5
for
or
my
6
YouTube videos?
Yeah,
Like, that's exactly what
brilliant.
I'm trying to automate everything I can ever do. I just ruined this. Let me just do something at the short end of it broke. 25 12 0 stream about kicking butt. What are the links? Twitter.com. Why do you care? We're solving all my problems. What's the plan? We're talking about shortcuts for Mac. And then so here, oh no, shortcuts is not going to let me see it. You see that bug? Oh no, thank God. It wouldn't let me scroll down.
Oh, you wait till you start trying to do things when you're Zoom. Certain things won't work when you're Zoomed. You'll have to like zoom out to do it. It drives me batty.
So here's, oh no, now the text is all black.
Yeah, that's another dark mode bug, right? It always does that. So I just changed it to plain text.
Work, but it's like you can kind of see. Join me as I stream with Doc. It's supposed to say something like this, and then this I think was supposed to be in there on this date at 12 p.m. And then just like, so in theory you can put together a whole description.
Right.
Be done, and versus like going back and forth to your template or whatever. I feel like that's pretty straight. Like I obviously just did this. I think that's too complicated, and you can see that like you kind of lost. I lost context as I got that far into it because it's too. It's just like confusing at that point. I asked me too many questions, and then like really what I should say in here is like somehow reference what I already wrote so that I can remember it, which is
right.
I tend to do.
Right.
But
you see,
like
you know what it's good for though? It's good for, like you're saying, for descriptions, but it's also good for sending that pre-stream tweet, right? Because normally what I'll do is I'll copy the link to the clipboard. I just said that like I'm in LA. Copy that link to the clipboard, and then I have the Twitter open, and I'm sitting there with my brain going, okay, I got to be cute. I got to come up. No, I just really need to tell people that we're live. But, instead I'm over here trying to craft this, elegant tweet. And for Twitter, sometimes it's not necessary. You just need to let people know you're live, right?
So is that that's the next phase that I have, at least in my checklist of at least before you want to add the description, then you need to just tell people about, or I guess this is still the description, but then it's, this was the thing. Have you seen Mike Hurley do his keyboard club stuff? He
I
does,
haven't seen Mike in forever.
yeah, he does like live streams on Twitch every Friday. And see, he's got a schedule and I know it. It works. Dang you. Proving me wrong. But it's every Friday at like 8 a.m. and he sends out these little tweets because he has such an international audience. He wants everybody to know in their exact time zone what it is. And so you type in this interface, by the way, why is there a clock? Like, what is that?
Well, because again, they're trying to make scripting more muggle friendly, so that would be one.
But that threw me off a lot.
If you're going to give me a clock,
the
don't give me
time
the
zone
drop down. Let
conversions.
me drag the hands, right?
Check this out.
I love this right
Stuff.
here because I used to do this. I used to send all the time zones, and then I just gave up doing it because I'd always mess up because Hawaii doesn't change.
I think there's also a better action now that's called time zone because
Shut
I don't remember
up.
how, like, if you get into daylight savings time, the shortcut might be wrong, sort of thing. Like, because
Yeah, see, I don't have no
somebody
daylight
does use
savings
it, but I don't. But yeah, so these ones, this is a whole preview for members because I'm releasing the time zone shortcuts, but I have a whole system that I just came out. This just got fixed like 3 weeks ago, but where did it go? So I just heard a noise and I don't know what that was, but yeah, just like what time their current time, and then convert it to what time is it in Cairo? Oh, it's wrong. It doesn't work. It converts it to Thursday at PM. I clearly put in this Thursday, February 24th at. That's all. That should be right. I'll fix it later. I don't want to do time codes. Date.
Oh,
Unicode,
dude, daytime
technical
calculation is insane.
Yeah,
So it's what was always
That's
using
a
an
mess.
app.
But yeah, that's why once I actually, it's mostly just this formatting is what it is, but the calculations it should be able to figure. But still, so that same thing of once you have your stream scheduled, you say, hey, it's on Friday, here's when it is, in everybody's time zone.
So that's
There's
brilliant, though,
even,
right?
I've seen another one that uses the specific formatting that Discord requires so that it does the same thing where it'll put it into their custom time zone automatically, which is kind of cool. Let me see. So then you were saying, okay, do you do anything else before? It's like you plan it. You obviously need a thumbnail.
Plan it, make the thumbnail, share it online, right? So I like what you did with your breaking it down, post a blog, post to Twitter, post to Discord, post to the community.
This, in theory, too, could all be done with one shortcut.
That's
Those are the parts that it needs to hit
brilliant.
separately. And it just could do one at a time, if not all of them simultaneously.
Oh, the only one is you have in the share plan, I would share the guest checklist. If you have a checklist for the guests or the stuff that you need the guests to do.
Okay, that's a good point. And that was the part. I think that was what this was, to share it with the guest.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, it's share plan. So it's like send, I'm just going to say mind map, send checklist. So you have a checklist on your website, right?
Yeah,
Or
we
what
have one
was
for
it?
ECAM.
Because that's another thing. I want to have my checklist all done properly. But I think that's fine. And then
I can
do
see
they
the
need to
one
know-
that I made for ECAM, and then you can adjust
Sure.
accordingly to like however you want to do stuff.
See, what's funny is in theory, I don't need it once all these shortcuts are done because they'll just do it for me.
Correct.
And I just go through the shortcut thing. But yeah, that's exactly why I want to just know what you would do. So this one is just literally getting the stream open. And some of this I've also just barely been beginning with. This is actually the way to turn on a computer remotely using Siri. Is you can it's called run script over SSH, where you just literally SSH. So I don't even, these words as a muggle myself, I should have been clear about that. I'm not an engineer, so like I don't know these things except for the fact that shortcuts can do this. But running script over SD, it's just sending a remote command on another computer.
Yep.
And so you can tell the computer to turn on and then open an application for you through SSH. So because shortcuts can do that, you can do it from your phone. You can control your Mac. And then because your phone can be triggered via Siri, you ask Siri, she'll send the command and open something on your Mac. And so like, of course, though, it's the same thing as before. It's all AppleScript, and this is super unapproachable to normal people. But in theory, what I wanted was that I come into this room and I'm setting up my lights and I just say, turn on the stream, and my whole computer turns on, and then all of the right apps are open in the right place and everything. And it's just like,
oh, that is genius.
Sweet goodness.
Right? Aubrey said, sending a script to be able to remind yourself things is fire. Yes. Yeah, 100%. You know, and that's what it is. The friction for streaming for most people is set up, tear down, set up, tear down. So one of the things I'm always trying to tell people, you have to have yourself set up to where you can just sit down. And once you sit down, you can start talking. Like if you can get yourself in that position, the friction of doing it is over. So even when you have this, oh my God, guys, I have this idea and I need to work through this, right? You can go live in your Discord right away and just be doing it. And again, right now, and Keely and I are figuring out, we think the easiest way is to go live in YouTube as unlisted and do a watch party in Discord with something like the Sesh app or some other, you know,
that's so good.
bot that lets you do that.
That alone might have been my big problem. So I'm going to have to try that out after this. I mean, and maybe even, honestly, whatever message you send with Sesh, probably you could keep that data in a shortcut and then send it from shortcuts right away and stuff like that.
I mean, you might be able to look at the bot and then figure out how to just redo it as a shortcut. You don't need the bot.
Dude, I mean, bots alone, if I can send a message to a Discord bot using shortcuts and then it'll do things for me, that'd be crazy.
Correct. So Paul,
so
you're right? Paul says it's wise because it takes hours to get ready. That is where you will go, nah, I don't feel like it, right? Yeah. So a long time ago when I know this is going to sound funny, people, but when I was in competitive bodybuilding, the first thing my coach told me is when you get home from work, walk directly into the house and put on your gym clothes. Don't do anything. Don't go to the bathroom. Don't do anything. Go straight home, put on your gym clothes. Then you can go to the bathroom. Then you can check, back then the messages was, you have 3 messages, right? Don't check messages. You have to get in the habit of as soon as you walk in the house, put on the gym clothes, you'll be 50% more likely to walk back out. Hawaii, we don't wear shoes in the house. And he was like, that's a bad thing. Because if you're in the mainland, once you put on your sneakers, you're kind of hard to keep looking at your feet and not go running, right? But here, we don't wear shoes in the house. So, it's an extra friction. But it's a game changer. And that's the same thing for this. So if you set yourself up where you can just plop down and go, you're more likely to go.
Yeah, exactly. And I, just for eCam specifically, I do think the profiles thing was the thing that held me back because I knew that I had to get into eCam, but then I would have to change stuff every time. And so now I can just choose the profile. And I'll say feature request for eCam to provide an action to shortcuts that lets me change the profile.
Yep.
So that when eCam opens, it can automatically trigger that shortcut and ask me which profile do you want. And then I can just click it and then it'll switch it for me.
Okay, I'm going to send that in Slack right now before I forget. Because I'll forget. And I agree with you because I would use that myself, right? Being able to hit something in Mac shortcuts that selects the right
exactly. The correct profile already.
The correct profile.
It's like I could have 10 of them and just clicking the right one would open the correct one.
Right.
Too.
So here's a perfect example, bruh. Tomorrow in the morning, I have the eCam live demo where I demonstrate how to use the software. And then as soon as that stream is over, I get another one that is the affiliate one. So 2 things. I want to be able to run a shortcut that says, okay, set up for eCam live demo, right? Then I needed to listen for when I start the broadcast, run a timer and tell me when that 45 minutes has happened, pop something up in what we used to call it. I forgot what we used to call it. Notifications now, growl. Sorry. I need a growl notification that pops up and says, okay, you're 45 minutes in, because I have to end that stream on the days that I have doubles. I have to end it at an hour because I do the affiliate training stream directly after. When I don't have the affiliate training stream, I can just, go demo for as long as I want.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, totally. I also, Alec just in the chat, he changes it with Keyboard Maestro. Is that just physically pressing the going up here and pressing it for you? Because
Alec is Keyboard Maestro.
Oh, you know what? I just realized we can do it. On the Mac, you can set custom keyboard shortcuts. No, I accidentally opened Keyboard Maestro. You can just set normal keyboard shortcuts to a menu item. Ooh, we just figured out a technique, man. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, but if I give Ecamm a custom keyboard shortcut, then I can tell shortcuts to press the keyboard shortcut for me. That's genius, though. You can. Okay, it's profile get, or here, let me do member stream to just test it. Profiles.
So you want a shortcut hook to be able to switch profiles is what you originally said, right?
Yeah. Look at this. Command Shift M while I'm in Ecamm should let me. No, it's not doing it. Maybe that's a different keyboard shortcut. Did I get it wrong? Profile.
Command Shift M in Ecamm is mute.
Okay. Oh, Control Shift M. I'm just pressing.
Yeah, see, people, you think I don't know these things.
Oh, it works.
It's my job. It's my job.
Look at this. Okay, hold on. This is a bad example because you just can't see me, but it's up here. I switched to the scene already, and it's got the keyboard shortcut right there.
Wait, how'd you add the keyboard shortcut?
Yeah. This is the big tip that I've been doing lately. Just in keyboard shortcuts, you can come in here and assign menu items to custom key commands.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's what you just did.
I never think to do this.
Alex said make it a global shortcut.
System. Yeah, exactly. A global shortcut just for that. And so you could go through and do each of these. Profile, guest stream, Command Shift G, and then your shortcut could just pick from those two keyboard shortcuts. Like, I think you guys should add this as a feature instead. That'd be nicer.
I'm telling them right now. I said, Ken and Glenn from Matt Cassinelli, can we get a shortcut hook to switch profiles?
Also, scenes mute. I mean, mute. Some of those just to
what mute?
I hope if they rewatch this part, some of those could be useful, but I don't know yet. I have to have it in order to know if it's useful. But I also get your development process doesn't. That's not the best development process, is to fix it all and then decide if it's useful. But if you don't give me these options, I won't know or be able to figure it out or test it. And so I'd be happy to help you guys figure that out too. Because I mean, this one is a clear thing that we both already could use.
Yeah, switching profiles is freaking
trying to figure out
super
what else.
important.
Sorry, this is throwing me off because it's showing my face really big. Like what?
You
else
know
what
I would like, which is crazy. I would like the ability to go back and reset at the end of the show, reset all my sound levels back to my starting point. Okay, so when I stream, and here's a pro tip.
That should be in profiles, by the way. It should change my audio settings because that is different for every stream.
Correct.
Does it?
Right. So you think
I
about
guess it's by scene, so it does. JK.
You I set everything to 80, right? For the simple reason that if something happens like today, somebody said, "Oh, Matthew's a little soft," I can take the interview thing and slide you up higher. So I always set my mic, my movies, my sound effects, everything up based off of 80 and sound levels, so I have room to go up if I need to. What happens is I'll forget, and I'll come back in, I'll start a new stream, and I get that guest signed up like nicely, and then somebody say, "Hey, can you turn the person up?" And I'm like, I left it up from the last time, so I don't have any room because I didn't
Yeah, that's
reset.
kind of what I've ran into also is I can't go up at all. Also, by the way, I just tested it.
So Glenn just said,
scenes don't change screen. No, wait, I thought
wait,
they
Glenn just
change
said
mutes,
this, and
don't
he's
they?
on vacation right now. He said, "I was wondering if anyone had requests for shortcut actions. That one makes sense. So it's done."
Nice, perfect.
Hey, this dude's supposed to be on
like-
vacation, and he's up here like listening to my Slack comments on vacation. I'm gonna be like, "Boss, you're on vacation."
Yeah, I mean, like what? But we'll come across it. We don't need to. It makes more sense when you discover it in context as opposed to just trying to come up with a shortcut too, because that's a very true thing. Is you'll end up just making stuff that isn't that useful, and the thing that you really needed, you forgot about.
Bruh, if we left adding eCam shortcuts up to Matt, the app would be 3,000 pages deep.
Exactly. Every single feature, every sound effect. I would play sound effects with the shortcuts. Don't. Yeah. I want to talk to Glenn at some point because it's like with his ideas and stuff.
So here's
so
what I
you were
did.
saying the stream tweet thing is what a shortcut you want to do, right?
Yeah, the stream team just notify folks. Twitter is good. Miss Eileen said like sending a Facebook message would be good, and it'd be cool if you could do it and just send it to multiple places at one time.
I think Facebook used to have an action. What you could do though is, in lieu of it not happening, is you could have it. Oh wait, that's wrong. Actually,
You can send it to Ifter Zapier.
yeah. Well, you could just 3 times in a row. First of all, it could just copy this to your clipboard, so you could paste it in. This is a good strategy if you can't do the thing.
Oh,
Put the information onto your clipboard first, and then just paste it, and like that's good enough 90% of the time.
Paul's making fun of me. He said, "I have started a few streams with no sound, so that's a must for me." See, thanks, Paul.
But this is how I would just do this: is just trigger the share sheet 3 times in a row, so you could at least pick Twitter, send it out through Twitter, and then again, then Facebook, and so it at least is like giving you that process really quick.
That's
plus
smart.
It's already there.
That's smart.
Yeah.
You guys understand that, right? So like I would normally click on something and send a share sheet, right? I'm going to send it, say Twitter. Shortcut will give you the ability to send that share sheet comes right back up again until you sent it to 3 separate places. And that's that alone is handy, right? Yeah. Something that I've been trying to get better at too is, from my understanding, is although we don't look at Pinterest, Google indexes Pinterest.
Yeah.
So we gotta, I don't go to Pinterest. So being able to remind myself to post things on Pinterest, we better. Back in the day, I used to go there just to collect all of my Star Wars weirdness. But like now I barely even use it. But you should put everything to do with what we're working with. We should be putting on Pinterest because Google indexes this, and it gives you more authority, if you will.
So here's how I would do it, just as this. If you need to add things on Pinterest, go sign in, click the add new button, and then save that URL into a new shortcut. That's just called add pin. And so like I was saying, the 80-20 rule is so valuable with shortcuts because.
So what do you do when that add button is actually a JavaScript though?
Then you're out of luck, or you go to the page before and just press the button. So like, it's not, I mean, at that point, people are like, why do I need a shortcut for it? And that's fair. The other thing is like, I mean, what happens, some websites is like, if you put in the title, it'll just do things like
show you
question title equals name, and like description equals this. And so in those cases, you can bring that URL into shortcuts. Say it like this. This is just a good example. And that's where you use that scripting stuff to ask yourself, what's the title? And then when you fill this out, it can like replace that text. And so it'll basically go in and create that final link that was the same thing as you pressing save.
Right. So this is where deconstructing URLs comes into place, because once you know what they're using for the URL, especially when they use plain English in the URLs, you can just strip it and then you can fill those in yourself through shortcuts.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be plain English because shortcuts can encode the URL for you. If you put the word doc rock and then URL encode it, it'll put those little percentages in and everything. So going back to, oh no, it froze. I can tell. Just quit it immediately. I don't even wait anymore. Just kill it. Just chop off the head and move on.
That's me with Discord, because Discord does that mess. Like I'll just go ahead and quit it as soon as I see one rotation of beach.
This was what I was saying with the analytics. Was like, if you wanted to change,
you just did show me the analytics for a video. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, this is the RSS feed, and then it's just the same thing as what I taught you last time. Just that RSS feed thing. Wait, whose is this? Whose channel is this?
What you mean Lumix versus the Sony A7 IV? I could answer you that question. The A7 IV runs circles around the Lumix.
Yeah. Well, you must not use a GH5 like I do.
No, A7 IV is brand new.
No, I'm just kidding. Before the stream, you joked and you held a thing up to the camera and it autofocused, and I cried inside because I can't. The GH5 can't autofocus properly to save its life.
We have a joke about that. We say Panasonic can't even focus on itself.
I guess I made this for Patrick's thing, but this is somebody else's channel. Oh, creepy. Weird. Do you see this?
Yo.
It's like I'm looking at his account. Obviously, it's not signed in, and it's just using this data. But that's kind of funny. I thought I was going to be able to look at his analytics. I was like, "Holy snap!"
Yo, that is
got to be authenticated. That's kind of funny though that they still display the page with just nothing.
So you know what that means, that they plug in the values like Lego on the fly. Like we were talking about programming from a bunch of different libraries, right? And then so once it realizes you don't have permission, the only value it sent you was just a thumbnail, because thumbnails are public.
Yeah. Oh, I have a shortcut to pull the thumbnail from a YouTube video.
See, I have that on my phone, and it's so dumb because when I have to do it on the computer, I keep opening up PullTube or Downy, and then just like this morning, I was like, you know what, dummy? You could probably use the same thumbnail puller you have from the phone and just make adjustments.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
plus also pulling it this way gets you the full size, whereas some of the other ones will not. Like this will pull you a larger thumbnail.
I don't have an error. What do you call that in programming? Error checking?
Yes, error checking.
Yeah, it's like, this just makes, if there's no video, it'll still try to create it and it fails. But yeah, exactly. You can choose specifically which size resolution you want and everything.
So here's what's cool. Downy is actually one of the apps, and PullTube 2 probably is one of the apps that will show up in apps. So rather than pulling it straight from YouTube, you can pull it from Downy, which actually goes in and gets a little bit more stuff. So for instance, if you're doing a video and you're using Downy, DOWNIE. You have set app, don't you?
I don't think I do.
Oh, you're fine.
I think I have about half of those apps already.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I got caught in that weird zone. Also,
so
I'm not gonna lie.
I switched back and forth between Downy and PullTube. Like Downy and PullTube both do the exact same thing, but then I don't know. Sometimes I like PullTube better. But because that is scriptable, though, you can make it faster. You don't have to go through stuff, and you can have it if you needed to post process in any way. Downy knows how to do post processing. Nice. Charlie's
they just scraped
genius.
Oh, nice! Isn't it just YouTube DL as an interface?
So yeah, remember he had like the first official ever Chrome plugin for YouTube DL, right? And then they kept swatting him around, so finally he just took it off of their thing and just made
He's
an app.
literally the person who made YouTube DL. Also, is this the same person?
Yeah, Charlie Monroe. That was the first guy.
I didn't know that. I thought
Yeah.
I just always knew about YouTube DL and then this app. I kind of thought they just made it a rapper, but if he's actually the person who did
No,
it,
he was the
makes more
first
sense.
one, if I remember correctly. Like way back in the day, you would go in
I
and
was wondering how they got away with
right.
and
So
just
you
in
remember
general, this app.
before for extensions, you had to manually put them in, and then Chrome became extensible. They became Chrome apps, but before you had to go in and put them in yourself. Okay, so here's one that I really wish that we could bring back. What wasn't Jason? Oh God, what's this guy's name? But Jason was the first person that told me about Jason Snell. There was a guy who had a Safari plugin extension rather, that you could send it to people with your Amazon, 20 code in it, and tell your family, okay, add this to your bookmarks bar. So whenever you buy something from Amazon, it would automatically tack on the reference link for you or the referral link for you. Because that's the one thing we ask our viewers, right? But we never tell our family to use our Amazon link. And you got an auntie right now who buys $100 worth of crap from Amazon a week. That if she would just come in through your store, she would be helping you. And she'll give you $20 or feed you anytime you see her.
But she won't do that,
yeah, she wouldn't. But all you gotta do is just change the start place on her browser. So without having to get access to everyone's computer, you just send them a Safari extension and they double click it. It automatically fixes that. And then now whenever they go in through Amazon, it automatically adds them. And I think how he got in trouble was it was even like if I click the Amazon link on your page and I said I wanted that affiliate to go to Jason, it would scrub your affiliate codes and give it to Jason.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's whoever is the last.
Whoever's the last, right. So it would basically hijack Amazon links and change it to whichever you told it to be. And so people were cheating and trying to add their own code. That's what it was. And then they made it go away. I learned that from Dr. Dre.
Yeah. I think this is all you need at the end is the and tag thing. And
yeah, pretty much.
I think you basically just do this.
I don't know if it has to be injected in a particular spot, though.
Yeah, so this should always just work at the end as well.
Oh, you can put it at the end? Because it's basically like doing a live grep and replace on a URL.
Yeah, I mean, so in general, there's an action called match text that is doing that. That's how people, I mean, you could see it in this other YouTube one that I was showing you that got the RSS feeds. Like that's doing a regular expression is what it's called. Which is the word grep. I didn't know that for years. And then somebody's like, oh, you just grep. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, it's so dumb how much programming just makes no sense. Oh, grep is match text, which is a regular expression. All of those words mean the same thing. Even matching text doesn't mean anything. But like, so this is a regular expression right there, trying to scrape a specific thing out of the HTML. And then if it finds it, it gets it and then puts it in here. So that's pretty much what you would do with this. But even then, the Amazon URL itself should just be fine.
Dude, that's super funny though. Yeah, so I never even thought about it. When you said it, I've always known that grep is regular expression. I mean, it literally stands for global regular expression print.
I didn't know that too.
But I say grep all the time. It never even made sense to me, but I absolutely knew. It's like, did you know that water was wet? Yeah, I knew that. I didn't know that.
Okay, this is the secret of shortcuts is that shortcuts is actually programming, but it doesn't seem like it. And that I'm actually a developer while I've never written a line of code in my life. That's why this whole thing is awesome and why everybody watching should do this because, like you said, it makes muggles not muggles, and you don't have to be a wizard in order to actually use computers. You can use
Correct.
shortcuts. And
When
obviously,
Apple
like,
first came
I'm
out with
doing my own
Automator,
version, but-
when from way back in the day, when Apple first came out with Automator, that's exactly what started this crap. Because if you remember back then, sending
You had to be a
images
wizard to use
to
Automator, though.
sending images to a website, like everything had to be under a certain size. Or I'm going to send an email and I want to send you this image, right? Eudora would have a clown if you send something over 2 megabytes. So you just built an
Yeah,
Apple
maybe.
script to always resize images, right? Or you had a website where all images had to be no wider than 640 because that was a thing. But, back then, 1 megapixel cameras took images over. I said 1 megapixel camera. I said it. Took images over 640. So all I would do is I had an Apple script that says, okay, take this entire Finder folder and take every image in here and resize it based off of the horizontal width and then spit it out. So as I was learning stuff in Automator and then seeing the Apple script that it would generate after, because you could always ask it to show you the script after.
I didn't know that.
And then I was like, oh, so that's how they did it. So I started figuring things out. I started learning things about where, Mac OS hid certain things, or it's kind of crazy, but
I didn't know until I worked at Workflow, which is the original version of Shortcuts, that their Automator literally runs workflows. And I was like, oh, so this app is just Automator for iOS. Then it just went full iOS, and now it's made the full circle back
where it
onto
came
Mac,
from.
and you can resize your stuff like this.
Yeah.
But like, look at this. So if you just gave your auntie, it's the doc link. Anytime she ran this shortcut with a URL somewhere, it could just like automatically append your code to it, and then it's just in there. And in case you want to buy shampoo, I will get money for it.
I don't have hair.
Do you need glasses too? Oh no, wait, no, you got the LASIK. No, you got the reader. So
No, but that's super
okay, shampoo
cool.
was the worst example.
That's super cool though, because so I think like part of your thing for your channel would be like just come up with muggle shortcuts and then show them how to build it and why they should, right? Appending things to a grocery list, big time saver, right?
I've got some shortcuts right here, man.
Man, like it should be like this is where everybody should start. This is your shortcut starter kit. And like you could even make a really nice ebook just of the shortcuts you already have, and then I would drip them out as like IG shorts. Like here's why the shortcut's important, and you can do this in under a minute.
Totally. I think the biggest thing that I've realized was that I need to do these streams in order to tell people or for myself to get this amount of knowledge out at once. Because in order for me to say what was just on my stream, I would have had to make a year's worth of videos and and get it all accurate and extremely simple. And so I think in general, the streaming is for people. It's for me, first of all, and I need to remember that because otherwise I have this all built up and can't share it with anyone as fast as I want to.
And your goal is to get it out. So every time you build one,
and for you to use too while we're doing this.
Okay, so here's the thing that's cool about streaming, right? That a lot of people don't realize, and I learned this not too long ago, and this is kind of goofy, but let me show you something real quick. I'm gonna go to my browser, and no, that's Slack. Don't look at Slack. Where am I? Where's YouTube? Here we go. YouTube. Wait, can you do it when you're live? No, you cannot. When you're done a live stream, right?
I can put it on my screen. Yeah.
YouTube comes up and it says, do you want to edit this in the editor? The built-in YouTube editor.
Yeah.
So you can basically move an endpoint to the part where you started talking about something specific, move the out point to that part, and then click Save as New. So move the trim in to like right there. And then, hey, Micah, move the other trim in right there. And then there's a button that says Save as New. And then once you did that, That's a whole brand new video.
Yeah. What
So
about
you don't have to produce because to me, teaching the shortcut stuff is almost guaranteed better live because you'll come up with it as you come up with it. It's just the way it works.
Is that better than just having the intro to the stream and stuff like that at the beginning? Is that why you would do it?
No. I leave my intro because if you chop it off, you lose the chat, and unfortunately, YouTube won't fix that. I wish they would fix that because as soon as they fix it, I'll be much happier. But they don't. So what you could do though, so like say we're doing this, and you says, "Okay, gang, I'm going to show you right now how to build that Amazon thing." So you have your timestamp in your head, you know where it's at, right? You build the Amazon shortcut. And then you say, see, that's it. That's all you need to know how to do in order to build an Amazon shortcut. Your muscle memory will get you in the ability to know that you're going to tag an ending, even though you're live, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you go in to the YouTube editor and you slide the trim to where you started the Amazon script building, and you slide the trim to the end, and you say, save that as a new video. That video is published and ready to go. So in a 1 hour live stream, and you taught people how to make 5 different shortcuts, you have already created the 5 different videos. That is what keeps people coming to your channel.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
It will create a new one for sure.
There's a button right there, save as new.
This just says save.
Oh, what's the next one?
Revert to original.
Oh, you have to it has to be after you actually made some changes, and then you do preview, and then it comes up with save as new.
Okay, I'll do it. I want to do it on a video, but just that maybe I'll test it real quick.
You could do it on a test video. So we actually have gone in and made 5 videos out of a live stream while the live stream was live. You know, as soon as we're done,
I guess I've always thought I had to process this.
It will post process, but
But I mean, like, take it to Final Cut, cut it.
Oh yeah, no, and it's funny for me to say that. I'm the Final Cut guy, so yeah, I'm going to do that. But even if you clipped them already and you saved them as unlisted, and then downloaded them to Final Cut, add the intro and outro, it's still faster.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? Because then you'll produce more. And so what that would allow you to do is just do magic things. The other thing that you can do, because we're here, I can't do it because I'm live, but in your eCam, you can switch your camera to vertical.
Yeah.
So now turn those in your IG game or even Twitter. I mean, because your following is bigger on Twitter than anywhere else. You can send them as Twitter videos, right? Because you go to aspect ratio, which is why can't I?
Yeah, here we go. Let me get a new scene.
Why my brain is dumb. Under output, nope. Options. Under options, you go to aspect ratio, and you can switch to any aspect ratio that's necessary.
I didn't think you could do an entire stream.
Yeah. So put your camera on right there. See? Yeah. There you go. So you could do that, and then overlay the iPhone part where you're creating the shortcut on the iPhone. And then now you can have here's a shortcut you can do in under 60 seconds, right? And your face is gone. Your face is gone, and then all it is your iPhone. Because you know when you plug your iPhone in.
Even.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can make Mac shorts. Oh my God, you changed my life. Okay, I have to write these things down. Wait. Change aspect ratio on eCam. What was the other one I just wrote down that you just said a second ago? Save as new on YouTube. Yeah, that's
Save as new on YouTube.
And then, so wait, while we're here, let me show you another thing.
Oh, and even so, in your vertical aspect ratio, you can do yourself as a camera overlay and your screen share as a screen share overlay, so you can be top and bottom.
Both, yeah, exactly.
You don't have to worry about trying to resize things.
I thought you were gonna say the cards part. This page where you like put on your little outro thing.
Yeah.
I have a shortcut. Oh, this is processing. It's not gonna let me do it. But you can see here, it's just the URL and then the time at a certain thing too. And so basically when you have when you finish your stream and you get that link from the RSS feed, then you can immediately go in and add your end card that tells you to go back to your stream playlist or whatever like that.
Shut up. So you can automate end card adding?
It won't literally, it'll do the thing where it'll open the page and you can press it, but yes, pretty much. It'll take you to the right spot. So
But
that's why
it's
like,
it's still.
because that's like, I never think to do this or I just forget. And it's like, it'll go in and put this cursor right here when you come in. It's like something.
I know those guys.
I'm not sure. Yeah, exactly. This was, okay, so then that was the other thing. You were saying, oh, the timestamp thing. This is what I just did a stream about, and we went through all of their shortcuts. And this was the other thing that I like wanted to just run and see if you had any thoughts on. Where is it? I've made my own version where it just made a note and then made little stars as anything happens. So like right now we're streaming. I think this shortcut, I needed to run once to start, and it'll like give you the timestamp of when the stream started. And so this shortcut right now is what triggers an eCam. It's my it's frozen. Why is it not letting me? Oh, it's back here. Chapter marker. So when the stream starts, set the chapter marker so that I know the exact timestamp, because now something else happens. I run this again, and it adds a second chapter marker that tells me 29 seconds into the stream, this is where my thing is. So in theory, with the stream deck right next to you, like you were saying, in real time, I'm like, all right, let's move on to the next shortcut, press the button, chapter marker is done. Then afterwards, I can go right into those moments and cut it out.
Yo, add chapter markers on the fly?
Yeah. And so this is what Jason's and Dan's thing was, to do the exact same thing. Oh, wait, this is the wrong one. They had like, it'll ask you a question if something happened, and then you can add that point at that time. And then they also had individual stream buttons on the stream deck. So you put the word cough on stream deck, run this, it sends the word cough into the shortcut, and then you know someone coughed at that moment. And so you have edit points for every single type of thing that could go wrong during your stream. Or right, already ready at your stream deck fingertips.
Okay, because see, here's what I would want to do with that. I would want to have, IG short,
Let's get this on the mind map.
tweetable, right? We have a thing, we say shirtable. That's our joke in the eCam community, right? Shirtable, right? So I could do shirtable, tweetable, IG
Are
post.
you saying shareable? Shirtable?
No,
As in,
shirtable.
like,
So I don't know if you can see my shirt. My shirt says you're on mute. And
nice.
so one day we were streaming, and for some reason, like all of the guests kept coming in on mute. So we kept doing you're on mute, and then somebody said you're on mute. That's shirtable. And next thing you know, it's a shirt.
Perfect.
So we have all of
then
these
you
shirts
said-
made out of just random things that come up in streams. And
Tweetable?
and tweetable,
What's that?
shirtable, Instagrammable, whatever, or turn into a short or reel,
Short.
which
Nice.
yeah,
That's
you
good.
know, to
It's
either
like
short or reel.
Reel clip,
Yeah.
kind of.
Exactly. So
They were
when
saying
you
like
when we're
call-
doing something and you come up with a valuable thing, we say knowledge bombs, right? Or knowledge drop, right? We use that. I got this,
How you like that?
right? Or
Yes.
it could even be something that you need to remind yourself to clip out for the other video because you don't want that part to be seen, because that's going to be, hidden in the
Yeah,
membership
mistake.
section. Right? So
Um,
I would make a whole set of Stream Deck buttons that when I'm live, I use my Stream Deck to do that more than I would change scenes. I could change
Totally.
scenes with my fingers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and just keyboard short. Or like I have both Stream Decks. I have the Mini also, and so that one can control the Stream Deck, so I can switch Stream Deck profiles in real time and like control the scenes or add chapter markers.
That's smart. Get the second Stream Deck just to switch profiles. Genius.
Your pedal.
Well, and also I have Loop Deck Live and the Loop Deck Live CT, so I got extra buttons. And here's the other funny thing.
Loop Deck
You're,
can probably run shortcuts too.
People who use Rodecaster Pros, these pads are MIDI controllable, so they can send commands as well,
See,
right?
this is, oh man, how do I get those companies to send me review units without having reviewed those yet? Because all this stuff, I'm clearly like the person who could make super cool stuff about it. I just need to make more videos
Oh,
and be
bro,
like, I'll
for
do this for you.
podcasters, using the sound buttons to make marks in your podcast as opposed to using it for sound effects, right? Because
Yeah.
certain podcasts never going to use the sound effects, but use the buttons to do trigger shortcuts. Oh,
It's
that's the thing.
It's the wrap it up. I mean, well, that's why they did this, was for their editor, was what it was. Is because Jason always knew that he coughed at 1 minute and 35 seconds in, but to tell your editor that afterwards is like a waste of time filling out that information. So it is just like he sends this to the editor, they just go through the timestamps and fix all the major issues, and then they can just like tweak it and finish it.
Bro, so next month on the 13th, if you feel like coming down to Diego, you need to be in the room with Ken and Glenn when we do our little California
It's
meetup.
interesting. I'm going on vacation next month, actually. I'm going to be in Yosemite, so.
That's a couple operating systems ago, bro. We're on Monterey now.
Yeah, that's fair. My bad. I'd totally love to like video chat or something like that with those guys.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I'll tell them. 'Cause we're going to be all hanging out in San Diego starting from the 13th until I come back on the 20th. I don't know when they're coming back, but like we're taking the whole team on the road to go to social media marketing world. And I'm telling you, I know you have a million things on your plate, but if you can figure out like I'm going to be the dictionary between nerds and muggles, because you kind of did that automatically. Like you're programming without being a programmer. And I think there are shortcuts that my missus could use or that my mother-in-law could use. They just don't know, because they just know it's a button on the phone, but they don't know what it's for. Right.
Totally.
And it's not even an automatic download. You got to go get it, actually.
And exactly. And honestly, the shortcuts team hasn't been publishing them the way that I would since then. But I'd love to know, just for you and that kind of thing, is YouTube video? I feel like YouTube videos, like a quick thing, is going to be. I mean, like TikToks and Shorts are another realm that I just haven't even processed yet. But like that's why these streams aren't for them, obviously. And
right,
the short thing. But do you think it should be like, here's 10 shortcuts that you should use, or do you think each video should just be one shortcut and like just something useful?
You know, I think at the point of digestibility, one at a time is probably the answer. But you can record that while you're live with your membership. So like, you know how we do in podcast? Okay, you and I been tweet all the time. So Tuesday we showed up, we recorded Mac Break Weekly. Tuesday night, right? They publish it as an actual episode, right? So imagine a scenario where your membership people and you guys are here. You're doing it live, whatever you want, right? Maybe it's once or twice a month. But in that time, I am going to build, while we're here, I am going to build 10 shortcuts to drip out to the muggles. So they get to watch you build it, because I think for us, I know for Paul, I can speak. I understand how Paul thinks, because, he's kind of becoming my second brain, right? We would need to watch you do it over and over and over again till we feel comfortable enough to just go and do it. And that's what it is for everybody's learning. I have people that come to my demo that I'm doing tomorrow every single Friday. I've done the demo 58 times. I have people that have been to every single one, even though I'm doing the same shit over and over again.
I mean, I keep learning new stuff, and I think I know it, and then I'm like, oh yeah.
Same here, because I learn new stuff as people ask me questions. I learn new stuff. So then, while you're doing the live, you can record that 5 or something videos in the process, just like we do when Leo tells us, okay, I gotta redo that commercial. Hold on, because I flubbed the line. Or it's going to take me like 2 or 3 minutes to do this real fast. If you guys want to grab a beverage or something while I do this, and then just like Leo, I mean, we learn from the best, bro, right? So you just like, here's the shortcut, for this grocery list thing. You do it real quick, and then from your timestamp button, that's what you're going to pull out
gonna say.
as your YouTube video.
What I struggle with, as I have a slightly unique, just like, because I have that membership and because I am trying to provide the live streams as something that's watchable afterwards and not just like, oh, you missed out on this. I am worried about doing those like things midstream, but also putting those timestamps that you could just skip ahead makes a big difference.
Yeah,
And
so
that's
chapter
why-
markers are there.
But
So
that's why
what
it's like this has to work, otherwise
100%.
the rest falls down.
100%.
And so I think that's totally pretty much been my plan this whole time.
Or
And
you
my
do them at the
biggest
end.
thing-
You know how Leo
Yeah.
does pickups at the end?
yeah, that's a good point.
During the stream, you figured out what they are. You go recreate them at the end while you're live, just so people who want to stay and watch you build it, they can. Right?
Yeah, totally.
And then
And I see just a comment in there. He's like, how's your repairs, saying this is 90% above his head, and a couple of things. I think that's true too. And I should have been clear that this stream was for me to figure this out.
oh yeah.
because
That's
I
why
have
it's
so
on,
much,
on an
and
odd
this
day
isn't
when
an
we're just
intro to
noodling.
shortcuts.
So,
Yeah,
but here's the
exactly.
cool thing about that, Paul. Neither Matthew or I can fix a stove or a refrigerator, so everybody has their swag. But I again, this stuff is incredible. So here's how it works for somebody like Paul. Paul writes a shortcut that says make a reminder to clean your tub, and I mean the tub in your machine, not your body tub. If you're a front loader like me, I didn't know this until I almost screwed it up. You have to clean your tub on front loaders. Okay. Top loaders, maybe do whatever you want. You should probably clean that one too. I don't know. But I know in the front loader, especially the HE ones, right? There's a note from LG when you take the plastic off, you got to run this wash thing through the tub at X many days. So we have a calendar reminder to remind us to do that, right? Paul can have a shortcut on his website that he sends to people. Anybody that's bought a Philips front loader or an LG front loader, click this icon on your site. It's going to add a thing to your phone that will remind you to do it every so often, so that way you don't,
Exactly. I have that on my laundry machine for just an hour, not 6 months, but same
Right.
thing of like, yeah, that's a great one. And
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause
totally. Every like little
I forget to
business
do
could
it.
have shortcuts for people. I think it is like, I mean, this is another thing that I have to, it's like there's so many ways to run it and use it that a lot of this does become overwhelming. But I think that's why, in general, I mean, like I have a lot of these as sections already, and I've been working on all these ideas, and my biggest thing has been getting the flow down. And like I have a membership program, so I want to make sure you're getting value and good shortcuts. But I think one of the biggest things for me has been I just make these shortcuts every day, and so I can turn on the stream, just show you what I'm doing, and then the shortcut is done too. And then it's like I just want it to go into my member process, and then I'm not deciding should this go on Twitch or not beforehand, because these are all decisions that I keep making every time. Instead, now I feel like I've got a couple of those things were pretty good, especially I think, I mean, what was the big part about even having the same URL was a really good one. The aspect ratio, save as new, turning it into clips could be an interesting, because I just want, I
YouTube
would like a way
videos
to
actually
take
have
just
clips
8
now.
minutes.
Did you know that?
That's wild. I don't even understand. Did you ever see my? I was like, cool. So we can't upload copyrighted content, but you can take my copyrighted content and upload it. What? That makes zero sense, good sir. Like, that is insane. I don't
do
like
believe
insane,
it has. I could be wrong, but I do believe you have to have had your thing set for Creative Commons in order for the scissors to show up on your stuff. Because like, there's no scissors on your video right there.
And is it like just because it's a? Wait, let's figure this out real quick, because I actually do want to know. Is that in here?
Creative
Sure.
Commons is over there. So okay, stop. Okay, yeah, this video. Oh yeah, this video has it. There's Creative Commons license right there. That might be the situation, because then you're saying that it's okay to get clips out of here. And a lot of people are
It's
like, well,
also
I don't
like,
want to do
'cause
that
I'm
because
the
I don't want my
owner.
content to blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nah, man, I put all of my stuff like that
No,
because it makes people share it. without,
Nobody's gonna clip my content also. So.
right? Well, I mean,
It's like,
you're kind of known
I'm
for
not
being
beating
the
myself
shortcuts
up.
guy.
Let's see, can I do? Oh well, but not while we're live. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
But if I take this,
Do I have scissors yet?
it's probably on mobile also, to be honest. Because you can't really make posts on the web that much. I don't know, but regardless, clipping it is first of all, just that word is Twitch culture, and so
Right.
like it doesn't actually mean anything to YouTube people, but just short videos of, like I just see. I mean, I think it was just on my home screen. I listened to like the Waveform podcast from MKBHD, and they also have a clips channel for that, and like that's just what I want, is like the point in this stream where I got really excited for a minute and we talked about that one cool thing. That alone as a clip is probably worth watching.
Correct.
But like getting into this stream for the whole hour, most people might not do that.
And
unless
that's
I'm
what
a
the Clips
chapter.
channel is for. Live streamers, to give people the stuff that they need, where it's just sections. And that whole thing that I talked about, you know, pulling a clip out of YouTube from when your video is finished processing, that's where you do it. Now, YouTube, they just need to add the ability for me, and it might be there. They need to add the ability for me to put my head and tail on there inside the YouTube editor, and then it's on like Donkey Kong.
Is that? Could you do it here? No, probably not.
No, you can put the end card,
Yeah.
but you can't put a pre-roll, right? And if they ever add that part, that's on. So me, I don't mind, because I'm fast in Final Cut. I don't mind downloading it, throw something on it real quick, and send it back up. I have fast internet, and I'm ridiculously fast in Final Cut. But
well, we should talk about that at some point. Some another time. But also, just to, I feel like this is a good place to cap this off.
yes,
Is well, this is from you guys. I can scrape the comments, but this isn't it. It's, where did I put it? I have a shortcut to take. Oh, it's up here in the Final Cut area. To start working with Final Cut XML.
Oh, shut up.
So that, yeah, man. And let me tell me to shut up again, because this one, it will take the video and all of the markers that you've put in that video. It will export them as timestamps for the YouTube chapter markers, so that you don't have to do that. And there's like Creator's Best Friend is an app that I think that you pay $10 to do this. This is all the app is doing this exact thing.
Have you
And I
heard
just,
about
like, didn't know
Switch
about it.
Take?
No, what is that?
Okay, so there's this app for when you're recording your Final Cut videos. There you go. You basically, on your phone, you mark whether it was a good take or a bad take.
That's what we just did with the timestamp thing, man. This
no
is
shit,
all this
bro.
is.
That's what I'm talking about.
I know, but I'm just saying.
So-
I'm making that's why I made this also, is so that I can just start recording a video and say, Siri, I just messed up, and she puts the time star in there. So like, this is great. I like the mobile app too, and this is smart. But this is pretty much the exact same thing.
No, so
I'm
you
glad
know how
that
much?
you have-
Do you know how many people in the eCam community would love that shortcuts thing, where I can just run the shortcuts that, you know, from my stream deck, I'm marking good and bad clips, and when I go into Final Cut, I'm already there. My other thing to me, when I'm in Final Cut, and
that's on you guys though. You guys need to add markers. Please add markers to eCam.
okay, I'm gonna put that in the chat, because here's the other one. When I'm in Final Cut, and this always pissed me off, I can put chapter markers in Final Cut, but I have no way of converting those chapter markers into YouTube chapters.
That's what this is. This
But
is
you
straight
just-
up looks at the XML.
Listen, press that share sheet thing right there, and then message Doc Rock. Holy
Let me do it off the cam. Just, I don't remember what we were messaging about, but here.
Oh, we're talking about Keely. No, I'm joking.
This might use I think it's using a sample XML, but I just haven't made. What's funny is I just haven't made a video since I made this, so I have no use for it yet, even though it's obviously very useful.
Because dude, man, I can tell you right now, for stuff like that, that's a big one. And even Keely, you know, she just wrote something in there. Keely, she teaches umpires how not to be horrible umpires for field hockey. That's what the FH stands for. No, it actually stands for effing hot umpires. Anyway, she can, you know, she was showing a clip the other day, and I don't know nothing about field hockey, but I saw the penalty right when it happened. Right, if she was doing that live, for her to be able to press a button on the stream deck that says, "Okay, mark that," so that I can pull that out as a clip that I can share elsewhere. Fam, that's just
pretty
like
much
genius.
Exactly, and like I want Descript to import chapter markers, and if I can get shortcuts that go from Final Cut directly into Descript and things, like there's a lot here, and
Yeah.
this is why I just need hours to smash my head against this shortcut, and then but I just need to do it on live more too. I think is the biggest thing, and I think this stream did the best for me of just like I think I've thought of it all already clearly.
Well, no,
It's all in
you need
this mind
someone to
map.
validate why somebody
Totally.
else would want to watch this. And what's funny, you take my man Paul down here, Paul 2, who's the, appliance repairman. Like he said, a lot of this is over my head, but I still learn some things. Because in any business, what everyone would tell you, if you can automate the things that either A, piss you off, or B, you always find yourself pushing to the side, that's what you want to automate. And that's something that you and Rosemary, and David Sparky have always preached, right? Like the stuff that bothers you or gets, in the way, or worse yet, the stuff that takes you only 30 seconds, but because it takes you only 30 seconds, you keep putting it off. Those are the things you need to automate.
I just don't want to do it.
Right?
That's like 90% of it sometimes. I
You
just
and
don't
me
want
both,
to.
bro.
If this will do it for me, this is great.
Right?
Yeah, man, totally.
This is genius. This is super, super genius. I love the idea of clipping and the time stamping stuff. Boom. That's it.
I think the big thing, even I don't remember her name, just the Empire
Keely.
one. Yeah, Keely, you were saying it's like too busy to think to press it. And I think that's where the ones that Jason and Dan were telling me about is while they have one that does the function, they have a whole set of 10 that's each type of chapter that you might want to add, because then your brain, just by seeing them, you don't have to process which one it is. You're just like, oh, that was a cough. Or even like, that your top right Stream Deck button is the cough one. And so you always can go to that. And it's also about repetition and time. Like,
Yep, it becomes
I
muscle
have
memory.
these, and I probably won't figure them out for another 3 streams, but my main goal is to just do those streams quickly so that I can figure it out and build that muscle memory. And then
Honestly, I still think
optimize all this.
for you, and again, I only think this because Keelan and I have been talking about this so much recently. Run unlisted YouTube streams and have the watch party jumping off in the Discord. And then everything that we figure out with the Sesh thing, I'll share it with you. Because I think with Sesh, that will allow you to give that, members can do some stuff that other people that are watching the stream won't be able to do. Because I haven't wanted to turn on YouTube memberships yet. Because that would give you can tell by the icons and stuff that they have, but I just haven't wanted to turn it on yet because I already have a regular membership, and it seems like, it's weird to put on a $2 membership against my 100 one.
If Memberful and Patreon worked with social media platforms to allow your members to be a member on the platform too, that would kill it.
Thank you.
No person who has a membership program is motivated to do Twitter tips or YouTube memberships because I'm giving it away to YouTube and giving my members something that's limited to one platform, whereas we all are multi-channel. And so like that's a big thing with membership programs is
100%.
all of the people who would use it don't because they already have one. And
YouTube doesn't allow us to add members for free, right? So for instance, if I wanted to just add everybody who's already paid for my, Discord stuff,
totally.
if I could just add them as a YouTube member, it would be fine. But YouTube doesn't want that because they want to take the cut of your membership. And it's all right, cool.
Some of it I might be willing to trade off, but yeah, it's still.
Okay, so you got to steal this note from Keely because that's important.
Yeah, I just like zoomed in. Okay, all right, it's done. Awesome. Thank you. That is so helpful.
She said, but we could talk about this. Yeah. So check out her channel. She just started a brand new channel called Discord for Creators. And that basically we're trying to like help creators. Cause I think, our thing for creators in my membership, what I try to get everybody to is you can monetize before YouTube tells you that you're validated. And most people wait until they get 4,000 hours and 1,000 subs. And that's just takes forever. You can monetize from day one, especially if you have something dope, right? So something like what you're doing, teaching shortcuts or whatever, you can start from day one and be monetizing by basically having a membership, right? Where people can get closer access to learn the stuff or the behind the scenes, or, every genre has a different style that people want to pay for, right? If I had just any high-end restaurant, I don't need to talk to the chef. I want to watch what the sous chef does. The sous chef does all the damn work. You know what I'm saying? But hey, they don't give you ability to pay more to come in early on a Saturday and learn the 80,000 ways to cut an onion with a sous chef. I'd be about that life. I'd pay $500 for that. You know what I mean? And restaurants during the pandemic were struggling, and they're like, well, I can't feed people. What do? I don't know. Go on Zoom and teach people how to make dope stuff at home. No, I don't want to do that. Then you don't want to make money. Shut up. Go away.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
the guys that listen to me, they're like, I'm never going to open my restaurant again. I'm just going to go into coaching people private cooking lessons. And I was told you this is what I do for a living. So yeah, it's kind of funny.
Nice.
Brother, thank you for coming through and playing around.
Yeah,
and
man.
You can bother me any freaking time.
I'd love it.
Micah's supposed to come over and hang out with me on like the normal stream at some point. We just keep missing each other.
Yeah, he's a busy man. I'm actually I'm not doing that show anymore because I'm trying to do this more. And so
you should
that
do
is
this more.
Yeah, exactly. That it's while I of course love that show and it's an absolute treat to do it with Micah. I think that was the biggest thing, was just like, this is what I'm doing all the time anyways, and just streaming it and making it more available, I think, can help a lot.
Have you read up at all or heard anything about Ikigai?
Yeah, like your purpose.
Yeah,
thing.
This is your purpose. And
I mean, yeah, man, that's why I'm doing it.
This is it. Like I went to school in Japan. My other half of the family is Okinawan, so I'm born. I live in Ikigai on a daily basis. Technically from Japan, from Okinawa, not Japan, but Americans like to ease up things.
I wouldn't know the difference, to not lie. So
it's kind of like Mexicans and Puerto Ricans, right? Like I speak Spanish, but I understand what Mexicans say. They don't understand us because we talk faster. But similar situation. So it's funny because once you start working in your purpose, I tell people all the time, purpose is an analgesic. And they're like, well, what do you mean by all this stuff that's bothering you, your pains or your time constraints, all this stuff, all of that shit disappears when you're working on your purpose. Purpose is 100% analgesic.
For 2.5 hours or no, 3 hours. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I didn't no idea. Don't even care.
Right.
Because it's
we're just hanging out. Right. And normally in a regular day, if someone told me I had to do some shit for 3 hours, I'd be like, no, instant answer. Yeah. Absolutely not. But, again, geeking out over the two things that we love and then, sharing it with the people who just come in on an off day and kick it with us. Yeah. That's part of my purpose. My purpose is to get creators to come and use creation as a way of working in their purpose, because when you work on your purpose, you're just a happier person. And the more of us that are happier, then this, less me yelling at people in traffic. You know what I mean? Same thing.
I think you've achieved it for me today, because I want to do that and go further. And then also, like, I think specifically because uniquely streaming is what lets me do this in a way that isn't just like feeding the algorithm and like the facelessness of YouTube, and also putting in 40 hours for a 5-minute video.
No.
And then people learn one thing about it.
People ask me about that. You just said something you don't even know, but people ask me all the time, do you watch the algorithm? No. But what about that? No, I don't pay attention to the algorithm, because number one, my channel is monetized by my membership, right?
Totally.
So I don't think about my YouTube ads and all of that stuff. That's not my business. I could care less. Like I'm not going to laugh at it. Like, hey, $300-400 check every month. Hey, thank you. I'll take it. But I don't pay attention to that. right? My membership is what's important. So
Same.
once you have that part established, then you can just come and stream from the real deal Holyfield. You can cover what you want to cover and help as many people as you want to help, because you're not worried about the little hockey stick diving down or somebody can't watch the whole thing. 2 things: chapter markers helps your replay people, and remember to talk to your replay people, because they can't always make it because we're on all global time zone. So,
and I think that scheduling thing, and I just haven't been able to like get the flow down, and so now that I can, that's all ready to go.
Take the place where you would have been recording the HomeKit show. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean. Yeah. The smart tech. Take the spot that you can do and turn that into your live stream spot, because you already had that time blocked out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, then you can work in your other projects later.
What is the warm fuzzies coming out of these closing moments are warming the dark hole where my heart should be. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Kaylee's brutal.
I mean, honestly, just today is I'm glad we did this today too, because I didn't even think about anything else that's going on, and that's helpful sometimes too. So,
and I'll get you some. Yeah, exactly right. I'll get you some FaceTime with Ken and Glenn, because I think that it's one of those things that when you're talking it through, it comes up. So I'm telling you, half the new features that are coming out in the release that's coming shortly, people, I almost slipped out the date. It comes from we're reporting what we do live. Those guys are brilliant, but they don't go live but once a month. So they don't think about the things the way we think about it when we're using the tool. They think about it from a heuristic standpoint, and we're coming in a little bit more hands-on. So, yeah. Bruh, if you need anything, you know how to find me. And if you need just foot in the ass coaching, I am a content creation coach. So just hit me up anytime, and I'll be like, come on, Matthew, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, you're like, please, I will hit you up on that, because
and when I come to the Bay, we're going to the mission,
and I'll be embarrassed. But also, anyone watching, if you hit me up on Twitter or something, if you guys want to like learn more about shortcuts, and I've got all this stuff on my website, MatthewCassinelli.com, where I like publish. I have a shortcuts catalog of, it's not that many yet, but I'm about to publish 1,000 of these in maybe next week. So there's a lot there. And then I've got my whole membership program where you can get all of these streams back and forth and things like that, and a bunch more shortcuts as well. So this is a whole thing. I'm going to be working on the website on my streams. Sometimes those are just one folder and things like that. So this is where I'm doing all web design and things like that at the end. But
bro, you know where we got to deep dive into that I would like to deep dive into some of this brainstorming shortcuts sometime, and I would like to deep dive into focus modes better. I think for like a Saturday stream, when you have time, I would love to get into focus modes to help my people, because my entire membership is, I just found all the ADD people like me to hang out together, so I don't feel by myself.
Well, let me tell you that the focus modes thing is very relevant to that, and I have 15 screens and all the focus modes to go through, so I can definitely help there.
There you go. All right, brother. I appreciate you. If you need anything else, folks, you guys know what to do. We'll see you on Saturday. I just wanted to have a chance to kick it with Matt and help him through him stuff, and I learned some stuff, and then you guys taught us some stuff, so we're good.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Wait, see, I even forgot to go and put back on the regular screen. Thank you, guys. I will see you Saturday morning, and aloha. Thank you, Mr. Matt. Have a good one.
Peace.
Ciao.